Y'all ready? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the New York born, Las Vegas made, always getting paid with the Usain Bolt fast, the one to beat, but good luck with that. The man who never sleeps and neither does his podcast, the notorious, the glorious, can do everything except Boris, has the funniest jokes, is always woke, the podcast GOAT, the man with the plan, aka your host, Killer Cam.
And Jared.
Now kick back in your seat and we welcome you to the podcast that never sleeps, Killer Cam, and witness greatness.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast Never Sleeps. I'm your host, Killer Cam, aka Jaboy. And with me always is the funny and very knowledgeable Choppers Erecta, aka Jared, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, good to be back. Missed you all. Excited for today's show. Look at the chat already blowing up.
Yes,
Love you guys.
Beautiful. McKenna,
Yeah.
Tina, all the beautiful people, Jessica, Chase,
Yep.
Giving Life.
Giving life.
First
Cat
one.
lover, D.
So, guys, if this is your first time at the podcast Never Sleeps, welcome. Happy to have you. Here we explore the new, the ancient, and the mysterious, all with way too many pop culture references. Isn't that right, Jared?
An extreme amount of pop
An
culture.
extreme amount.
And it's going to make its way into today's episode quite
It
a
sure
bit,
is.
which
So, Jared,
fun.
I know. And we have a few segments planned. We have a best movie ever. We're bringing back the Marvel Minute. Just a few minutes, don't worry.
Yeah.
And we got a lot in store. I think the thing we're diving into, which you're about to explain,
Yes.
I think the last two stories are the coolest and craziest.
Yeah, there's some good ones. So
So,
today,
Jared, please tell the people what we'll be diving into today.
Today we're going to explore the greatest heists in history. We're talking Ocean's 11 type stuff. People breaking into high profile places and just making off with millions, untold riches, and then off into the wind. And there's so many big heist stories. I mean, and there's also a ton of great heist movies. So it's cool. So while digging into this topic, it was fun thinking of all the different heist movies and how these movies have drawn from real life and how maybe some of these heists drew from some of these movies, which is pretty interesting.
Look
You
at
look at
that,
the dates
yeah.
on some of this stuff. So
Yeah.
it was fun. So today, true crime in it.
We're true crime in it, baby. D.B. Cooper. Ooh, that's a good one. Damn.
Ooh, yeah, we'll see.
That's
We'll
a
see
good one.
which
Should we
ones
pivot?
talk
No, I'm
about.
kidding.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So, Jared, first and foremost, let's
Yeah.
start off. Let's get real. Let's get serious. So,
Uh-oh.
how was your week, my guy? How was the past since the audience have seen you last? What's been going on?
Good times.
You're wearing a beautiful shirt.
Celebrated the
I love your shirt.
holiday. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good to see the whole family.
A little Labor Day action you're talking.
Yeah. So it's cool. It's cool when we get together, have some
Yeah.
good food, tell some good stories, play some games. So yeah, it was fun.
McKenna's excited for the topic.
Oh yeah, today's gonna be a good one.
Yes. So, Labor Day was a lot of fun. We got some gigs, some gaffs, some goofs. We played that memory card game thing,
yeah.
which
My
is
daughter just
impossible.
slays
Yeah, she
that
just
game.
kills it, and she even has like she knows what cards have like this. The sides are like torn, so she's like, "Oh, I remember this one." I'm like, "What are you, a savant?" Get out of
Yeah,
here.
that's
and then
how
we
she
play.
tries to remember them.
Yeah, I know,
that's
it's crazy. It's
That's
smart.
its own game of memory
Yeah, I know, right?
there. So that's funny.
Oh yeah, the one with the a bend at the end is the one with the
that they kept
it's
turning
crazy.
over.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
this guy. Like, whoa.
But yeah, we had a lot of fun. Ate some good steak.
Yeah.
Drank some good drinks and yapped about. Had some goofs, some gaffs, like I said, and played heads up, which is always fun. But anyway, so let's talk the goods. Let's talk the good, and let's really get into it. So heists.
Yeah.
So should I start off? Should I?
Dude, start us off. I'm excited
All right,
to hear
let's
what you've
go.
got
Let's
today.
go. We got a good news segment
Oh,
today.
yeah.
We got so many good segments, dude. It's a segment heavy. You guys are so lucky. So I'm gonna start off with a gentleman named Lee Murray.
Oh, okay.
So you know me, Jared.
Yeah.
You know that I'm a fan of the UFC,
Yeah.
MMA in general. I
Yeah.
follow it closely.
That's true.
That's true. So the man I'll be talking about is it's just some guy, some MMA fighter. Just talking about some MMA fighter. Nothing crazy.
An MMA fighter pulled a heist.
Oh, no. I'm just saying I'm talking about an MMA fighter. I
Oh,
don't know what
okay.
you're talking about. What are you talking about? I'm just saying
Heist.
MMA fighters. I like MMA fighters. I'm talking about this guy, Lightning Lee Murray.
Okay.
So, born in 1977 in the East End of London.
Uh-oh.
The East End.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's the bad end is what they say.
Is it?
The East End's the bad end.
Is
mate.
East End the bad one,
I
or is
don't
that the?
know.
I think that's the high end
No,
one.
no. It's shitty. It's
EastEnders, because wasn't there
bad.
a show called EastEnders?
I don't know.
Wow.
You'd know more than I would. Lupin is the grease thief. what am I reading?
Yeah, he's claiming to know that the greatest thief is.
Oh, it's the greatest.
Yeah,
Okay,
somebody
okay.
named Lupin.
Yeah, who knows? So he was so this guy, Lightning Lee Murray.
Yeah.
He was a kickboxer and a boxer, right?
Okay.
Growing up, he also ran a little crime organization, right? He hooked up with some
Really?
Nigerians. Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah. So he was running this little crime.
And he was a
ring.
pro fighter.
Not yet. So first he was just amateur, just
I just mean
fooking a
like,
boot.
yeah, but eventually he was a fighter for a living. Like he
Yeah.
actually, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I didn't know the fighter was also a.
So check it out. Yeah, a criminal. Yeah. So
Yeah,
he
involved in that.
so he had criminal ties, right? He knew all these gangsters,
Yeah.
right? He's like a character straight out of a Guy
Snatch.
Ritchie movie.
Yeah,
straight
that's
exactly.
what I'm thinking.
Exactly. So picture him talking like this,
Right.
and saying, "What's it?
Bare
Tommy the
knuckle
tit."
boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
exactly
cool.
right. So he's like, hey, I'm from the East End.
Right.
I got a gang, and me Nigerian friends supply us drugs, and we sell them. And if you don't pay up, we'll kill you, mate.
Okay.
We'll
So
pop
he
you.
was like an actual gangster.
Yeah, he was legit. And then, so before his fighting
That's
career took
funny.
off, yeah, he was quite the menace in the East End.
Wow.
And then, yeah, but he had his sights. He's like, I want to get out of this life. He
Right.
had his sights set on a little company called the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Oh, he actually made it to UFC.
So this was a smaller organization back in this time, right?
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah, by the time he was an adult, he had in the UK 3 wins and 0 losses.
Okay.
Right? Then he moved to the US in 2000
Yeah.
to work on his ground game, right? And he worked with this guy named Pat Miletich, who's a 5-time UFC world champion. He's a dog. If you don't know who Pat Miletich is, he's like one of the pioneers of the sport, frankly. And so Pat Miletich opened a gym in Iowa.
Okay.
And,
yeah, the name does sound familiar.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, for sure. He's very popular.
Yeah.
So Lee Murray, who's 6'3",
Yeah.
a perfect build, just built to be a fighter, right? And Pat's like, dude, come into the gym. He outperformed everybody. Everybody quit. He would keep working. He was a beast. He was a dog. And he even trained with UFC legend Robbie Lawler, who just retired recently. And Robbie
So he
Lawler
was like deep in the actual pro fighting.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, this is crazy.
He's being trained by Pat Miletich.
I can't wait to hear what he did.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's fun.
So it's all about the build-up here.
Yeah.
So this is the foreplay.
You got me there.
Yeah.
Now I'm
So
worried.
Murray made his MMA debut in America in the Extreme Challenge.
Yeah.
And his ground game that he worked on with Pat Miletich paid off because he submitted in the first round his opponent. Next, he fought after garnering an 8-1 record. He fought Anderson the Spider Silva, who
Yeah,
we all fucking know, one of the goats.
Helped the sport become what it is.
Absolutely. So he knocked out Tito Ortiz.
Yeah.
Crazy. He had a big feud with Tito Ortiz.
That's
Fought
crazy,
Anderson
yeah.
Silva, lost to him, but
Ortiz was like the biggest back then, too.
biggest.
Yeah.
He was the biggest name in the sport.
Silva
Absolutely.
and Ortiz, yeah.
Yep. Then he fought Silva, took him to the distance. He didn't get knocked down the first round, second round. Took him to the distance, lost via unanimous decision.
Okay.
So he's a force to be reckoned with. Knocking out Tito Ortiz back
Yeah.
then, that's crazy. That's good stuff.
That is
so,
good stuff. I would be interested to see that.
Yep. Then he got in this little issue where it was a road rage problem, and he hit a middle-aged person who, they were in a coma for quite a while.
Yeah, if you're that
Yeah.
for a living, you
Yeah.
can't just go hitting people.
I know. So he was denied. This is a road rage accident. Yeah. So he went out.
You know what that makes me
punched
think
somebody
of?
into a coma.
One of the best freaking movies ever, Con
Dog.
Air.
Dude, Con Air is the best movie.
Dude, where he's like, he has to fight those guys
Yep.
in the bar because they're like being rude to his woman, but he just
Yeah.
got back from the Marines.
Yeah,
and
still
so
wearing
he's a
his
trained weapon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best, dude. What a good
But
movie.
yeah, dude, in the rain with blood dripping, he's calling his wife.
Yeah. I am, however,
Yeah.
torn apart.
Yeah, with the worst Southern accent
It's
ever.
the best, yeah.
I'm coming home forever. So good, so bad.
I'm gonna
so
get
good.
you that medicine.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get us out of here. I'm
Bubba.
gonna save the effing day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
The
good.
best. So he was, because of this, he was denied a visa to America to fight in the UFC. And
Okay.
yeah,
So now I see.
But after that Silva fight, Dana White, he's like, hey, I want you.
Yeah.
But because this thing with the
what
road
a
rage,
silly
because he's a
decision.
dummy. Yep. Stupid decision.
Yep.
So because of this, he couldn't make it to America and fight for the UFC. Finally, he fought for the UFC, and but it was only on the UK cards. He couldn't come to America.
Okay.
So this and there was more stuff that happened with the road rage incident. It kept going on.
Yeah.
And it was just like ruining his life.
Of
But
course.
his fault. Anyway, so then he went to a celebrity's party.
Yeah.
And at this party, he started a fight and got stabbed 7 times in the abdomen.
Holy crap. That's pretty
So
good.
there goes his fighting career.
Oh, so it was permanent
Done.
damage.
Permanent damage.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't fight again. He was all sutured up. He was done. He was done. So there goes his UFC dreams, his
Yeah.
MMA career. What does he turn back to?
Oh, yeah.
His life of crime.
Okay.
So he calls one of his old homies and he's like, hey, let's get the crew back
Let's
together.
plan a heist.
Yeah. So he's
that's
like, let's
crazy.
get the crew back
This
together.
is a plot to a film.
It
huh?
literally is.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Yep. So Lee Murray returned to what he knew.
Yeah.
A life of crime. So by the way, this video, thanks to Popo Medic for the video, because it's what I'm using and it's good. And where I got a lot of the information. All right, y'all ready for this?
Yes. Indy cars are worth $10 million? Wow. Chase hitting us with some facts.
Wait, what's up, boy?
He was just saying that he heard Indy cars are worth about $10 million. He's like, that's a good heist plot for a movie right there, stealing an
Yeah.
Indy car. You remember that Stallone movie where they drive Indy cars like on the road and the quarters would stick to the wheels from the heat
Oh, that's
to the
insane.
tires?
No,
It
I
was
don't
so,
remember that.
So freaking cool.
That's dope, though.
Yeah. They'd put quarters on the ground, and then when they drove over them, you'd see them stick to the tires from
Oh,
how
shit.
fast they go. Yeah.
That's sick.
So he did a heist.
The heist. By the way, the music is a little distracting. Just
Yeah.
saying. Woman with a gun.
Nightclubs.
Nightclubs.
I guess it all
dancing.
comes together. Yeah.
Teaming back up with his childhood friend Paul Allen.
So this is
the
what
two
they do,
men
meet up.
Paul
put together
Allen.
a crew.
Let's
and
see his
began to plan
business
the
card.
heist, drafting a reputable team of European criminals. And together the men devised a plan that would go down in the history books as the largest heist ever committed in the world during peacetime. And the target, a Securitas depot in Tonebridge.
Securitas,
Barclays
you know
outsourced
them?
the distribution of money to a subsidiary management group managed by Securitas, operating a non-stop 80-person
Oh, so
staff
they went
split
for it.
across
Oh,
3
yeah.
ships.
Oh,
Translation,
small heist.
25% of the cash that fueled London was in the
What?
same spot.
25% of the cash that fueled London was in one spot.
Yeah.
Sound familiar?
That's pretty crazy.
The facility was surrounded by CCTV cameras and strategically placed between 3 police substations. And with that level of security, the planning took months, beginning with a gang member by the name of Amir Haisena, who interviewed and got a job at the depot as a security guard. He wore a camera on his belt and recorded and reported the layout and activity. within
Okay,
the
so they
depot
had an
during the
inside
shift.
man.
Yep.
That's usually
Which
a
is
good way
smart.
to pull
Yep,
these off.
always.
Yeah, you have to get the info.
gang focused their attention
100%.
on Securitas Depot manager Colin Dixon. and
Listen to what they
orchestrated
did, though.
the
These guys
Tiger
were
kidnapping.
savage.
To abduct Colin Dixon in one location and his family in another,
Yeah.
and force the man to comply through the collateral of his family. The gang sourced police uniforms
Yeah.
and hired a prosthetic makeup designer by the name of Michelle Hogg, who altered the facial appearances of the gang members who would pose
This is a legit
as police
heist.
officers.
This is
Bro.
like
by orders of Lee
some
Light and
Oceans
Murray
or
on the
movie
evening
heist
of
stuff
February
right here.
21st.
I know. McKenna said Ocean's 8's one of her favorite movies, and she wants to see some women doing some cool shit.
female heists?
I looked up some female heists.
Yeah.
The ones I came across, I liked a few, but there's the ones I picked. I'm like, I think these are just a little bit cooler. But I like the idea of like an all-female heist
Yeah.
one or something.
Oh, yeah.
We could
It's a
talk
cool-
all-female true
that
crime,
cast
which
is
is some.
crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And stage
They're pulling
at the
it
loading
off.
dock. Once the truck was parked, 7 men entered the depot,
This is
armed to the teeth.
crazy.
Armed to the teeth.
Yeah.
Look at what they have.
Wearing balaclavas and paintball masks, the men were armed with handguns, shotguns, AK-47s, and Scorpion
Scorpion.
submachine
In a
guns.
place where you
And Lee
can't
Murray
buy guns.
carried a stopwatch.
In London, yeah.
Yeah.
And verbalized the lapse time minute by minute. The men rushed in, ordering Securitas workers
There's
to the
Lee
ground.
Murray in the
Dixon
middle
handed
there.
over the keys to the vault at the orders of Murray. The 7 members of the gang began to fill the truck with extremely heavy
whole
quantities of
truck
cash.
full.
And nearly
Dude.
35 minutes later, the gang had stolen 17 cages and 3 supermarket trolleys full of cash.
That's
3
it.
And
trolleys
having ran out of
cash.
room,
Less than
the
40
gang left
minutes.
behind 154 million pounds and disappeared.
'Cause they
into the
ran
night,
out of room.
Making
Yeah.
out with a total score of 53 million pounds. The
Nice.
staff workers were left locked inside the empty cash cages, buying the robbers 3 hours before Dixon's small child could finally
So they're
squeeze through the
feeling good.
bars
They pulled
and
this
phone
off.
police. Shortly after,
Did you hear what happened?
What part?
The child. It's doing it again, son of a bitch.
You hear?
The child of the guy that they kidnapped.
Yeah.
He's squeezed through the bars
Oh.
and escaped and called 911.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, that's what he was just saying.
So that's interesting.
were left locked inside the empty cash cages, buying the robbers 3 hours before Dixon's small child could finally squeeze through the bars
Oh, okay.
and phone police.
So they did have 3
Shortly
hours
after, police
head
arrived,
start.
and the media was in shock of the amount stolen, and the story went worldwide.
And what will they do
53
next?
million, that's
We're
pretty
gaining valuable
pretty big.
forensic evidence. We're developing
The music's
intelligence
the
on a
worst.
range of suspects at the moment. The morale on the investigation team remains very high, and I remain confident that we will both catch and convict the people responsible for
The
this.
police scrambled to identify and locate the robbers, but the media attention alone wasn't the type of heat
Yeah, given
the
life, I'm
robbers
going to look
could have
into this,
anticipated,
Lupin.
and was the beginning of the end, as rumors immediately poured in that UFC star Lee Murray had somehow been involved. And on the following day, police located all 3 involved vehicles, abandoned with discarded evidence connected to the crime scene. After running the plates of one of the vehicles, on February 25th, police raided the home of the registered owner, Leah Russia,
Wait,
finding video surveillance
he had his
of
plates
Dixon's
on his
home and
car?
plans
No, this
of
isn't
the robbery
Lee, this
event.
is the other guy.
Not even 10 days
But yeah,
after
one of the guys did.
Yeah, that's kind of
5 people were charged,
a silly
and
mistake.
everyone started to talk, including the prosthetic
Oh, yeah.
makeup artist Michelle Hogg.
yeah, you
who
know she was
flipped
talking.
on everyone, pointing
Yeah.
the blame at Lee Murray and Paul Allen. And
Yeah.
police geared up and raided Murray's residence, but Murray was nowhere to be found, as Murray and Allen fled the country and found asylum.
Let's see Paul
He found
Allen's
asylum?
card
Wait, has he
in
not been
Morocco.
arrested?
in Morocco. So, the aftermath.
Did he actually get somewhere where they couldn't like extradite him and he's like chilling?
So, check it out.
No.
So, he went to Morocco where they do not extradite, and that's where he was born.
And
so
he's
he
like,
has-
I got, yeah, you
Yeah.
pay the local whatever, they might just let you stay.
So, first of all, what do you think of that crime?
That's a well-planned heist.
That's like the beginning of Snatch type thing
It's like
too,
a
right?
legit, yeah.
Like
this is
where
a
they come
total
in,
plot.
guns ablazing.
Yep.
It's like
They got the inside man to map it out. Then they kidnap. I've seen that in several films
Yep.
where they kidnap the
Yep.
bank manager's
Yep.
family so that he'll open the thing. And
Yep.
yeah.
because
So,
what better collateral than, hey, do this or your
right, yeah,
family
yeah.
dies.
So the guy has
Yeah.
to do it. And they load up an entire truck, $53 million. Yeah, leaving behind $150 million that they just couldn't fit.
Just get another cube truck. Yeah, I
That
know,
was
right?
a legit, that's a legit heist, man.
dude, and pulled off by a UFC fighter.
An actual
what isn't this guy good at?
known UFC fighter.
Yeah, fought under Pat Miletich.
The guy put his
fought
own
Anderson
license
Silva,
plate?
knocked out Tito Ortiz.
Why
I know.
wouldn't you just switch
Well,
a
he
license
rented
plate?
a truck, and I don't know.
The whole thing
plus,
is so
the chick,
silly.
The chick gave him all up anyway. you know,
Right, but they had to find the only way they got to her was through him, and getting to him was through a license plate. That was their first lead, or the lead that got them.
I
That's
think
what it
there's
sounded
something
like.
else that mentioned her. What's the chat blowing off saying?
Yeah, so Chase is saying, yeah, they pulled off everything perfect, but the license, but he left the plate on the car. Yeah, that's like the Latanza heist, the guy leaving the truck parked off on the side of the street.
Samuel.
It's that stupid. Yeah, and McKenna says, yeah, she's dead with the license plate thing. Just laughing, like,
ridiculous.
bruh. Seriously, that's. Imagine they planned this. I mean, think about the planning and the time that went into this. Why wouldn't you just find a fake plate or switch a
Dude,
plate?
cover
How
your
many
plate,
movies do they
do a
just switch the
million
plates?
other
Yeah,
things.
no one thought of that, or that guy.
What
didn't
movie was
think?
that where they had the plate and it flipped, like they hit a button and it would flip?
Dude, I think it was the Jackal.
Oh, maybe.
Was it the Jackal? And
Maybe.
then remember he sprayed the paint off so it was a different color.
Is
even
he just in all the best movies?
He
that
is.
what
He's
it
in the
is?
best movies.
Yeah,
Straight up.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
I know he's not dead, but he
No.
can't act anymore.
Why not?
He has the. You're making me feel like I'm crazy.
I
He has
didn't
the,
know
the
that.
head thing where he can't like remember lines and shit
No,
anymore.
I didn't know that. That's
What?
so sad.
You didn't know Bruce Willis? He can never make another movie again.
I did not know that. That is.
Yeah, his brain is
Oh
fried.
no!
Yeah,
he
man.
gave us some of the greatest films there is.
Dude, from Pulp
I didn't know
Fiction
that.
to Fifth Element.
No, he's just the
Dude,
just
he's
the man.
bee's
Oh.
fucking knees.
Well, we need to do a little nod to him today. Then I think I got something planned for that.
Oh yeah, nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. So McKenna said karma is so funny. It is
Oh,
quite
yeah.
the bitch. So let's see the aftermath.
Yeah.
Let's see what happened here.
Dude,
I know.
they could have gotten away with it, and he traveled to a non-extradition country.
Because
They
of his
all
father's
could've.
Moroccan lineage, Murray was recognized as
Oh,
a
that's
Moroccan
why.
national,
Oh,
and Morocco has no formal extradition agreement
Look
with
at
Great
that.
Britain. Not
So
only
he
was
knew
Lee
what he
Murray a
was
free
doing.
man,
Yeah.
but he was a free and rich
Millionaire.
man,
Yeah.
dumping millions of dollars on an exotic Moroccan mansion.
Oh,
and
this
regardless
guy.
of how flashy or how much attention Murray was drawing
Didn't
to
matter.
himself, Murray and Allen were under 24-hour surveillance by Moroccan authorities. And after 5 months of living the good life, on June 25th, Murray and Allen and 2 other Securitas Depot robbery suspects were shopping at the Mega Mall in Rabat when they were surrounded by Moroccan authorities. A
Okay,
fight
so they
broke
played
out,
ball.
and Murray and his crew beat the living shit out of the Moroccan police.
Whoa!
Yeah.
No way.
Eventually, the 4 men were overpowered by other incoming officers. All 4 were arrested for offenses linked
Dude,
to the
this is a
Securitas
Fast and the
robbery,
Furious
as
film.
well as additional
know,
Moroccan
right?
drug offenses that were committed.
That's literally
in
dumb.
They
France.
beat the shit out of the
Moroccan police
cops. Yeah.
effecting the arrest were beaten so badly that a Moroccan judge added a charge
Yeah.
for which he described as beating and humiliating members of the Moroccan police force.
That's on the books.
A total of 8 gang members were
They try to arrest my family.
Yeah.
are serving life in prison. Michelle
This
Hogg,
is
who testified
Morocco.
against the gang, will forever look over her shoulder as it's
yeah,
openly
yeah.
reported that a £7 million contract remains on her head.
Oh, shoot.
Lee Murray, the prominent UFC prospect, was officially charged and convicted for the heist.
Okay,
and
so the
sentenced to
authorities did
25
catch up
years
to him
in a
eventually.
Moroccan prison, where he remains today.
I was gonna say, I wonder how that works.
Lee Murray, both men just trading blows. That's what the crowd wants to see. Anderson Silva's taking a couple.
Yep.
They move to Grand.
Yep.
Wow,
Good
dude! I
stand-up
didn't know
by
a
both
famous
men.
fighter
That's
pulled
what the
off
crowd wanted to
an
see
amazing
there.
actual heist, like a total ocean style heist.
Total. Is
With
that
the crew and the
fucking
whole thing.
wild?
Yeah, camera on the
Yes.
belt. I like it.
Dude, yeah, I have another one. The one I'll get to later.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's total a specific movie. It's totally this specific movie. But crazy UFC fighter, so it's all the things I love. It's
Yeah, that's cool.
crazy cool heists, crime
Yeah.
syndicates.
You
it's,
found a good one.
That's a
fun.
goodie, right?
Yeah.
It's a UFC fighter. It's all the things I love, dude.
Yeah. Well done. Good
Fun,
story.
fun,
I did not
fun.
know. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a cool one. Holy crap.
So, what do you want to do? Do you want to do the Marvel Minute when we said we're gonna do it? You want to throw it in now, or you want to go to yours now? What are we thinking?
Yeah, let's do one more heist.
Let's do another.
So I did. I was looking over some of the biggest and most famous heists of all time. Have you ever heard of the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum?
No, I have not.
Strange music for this.
Yeah, strange choice.
Well, it's in Boston, Massachusetts, and it's
Boston, Mass.
it houses an immense
Amount of
private art
cack-sackers.
collection worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And what makes
Art
this
collection.
an art collection? Yeah. And what makes this a special robbery is that not only was over what is in today's money over $600 million worth of art stolen, over $600 million worth of art was taken, but none of that art has ever been seen again to this day. Not one piece.
Really?
Yeah. So that's interesting.
So, what did Chase say here? What they pull off everything perfect.
So people do
And
that.
these
That's
fools,
like you've got like those whistleblowers that go
have
to
to
Russia.
play it on the car. Yeah. McKenna laughed about that, and then he said, "What if someone did a heist in an enemy country?
Oh,
Would-
and then
would they
came
be-
here? Ooh, that's an interesting one. Would we play ball? We usually do.
So yeah, we wouldn't allow
So
them
imagine
asylum.
like so they
Because
pull off
we're a
heist
country
in
we're a country
North
that
Korea.
extradites.
Yeah.
We extradite.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't matter. We'd say,
Yeah.
oh, take them.
Yeah. So, but if you know you're sending them back to North Korea to die, That's an interesting one.
Oh, like North Korea, like a
That's what I'm
country
saying.
that's where
That's what he's saying.
they, like capital punishment type of
And
thing.
it's an enemy country.
You know what's
that
crazy?
we don't have any agreements with. There's no extradition. I'm sure we have no agreement in
You know
place
what's
with North Korea.
super nuts? Just real quick is so say for example that I pull off a heist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I go or let's say I kidnap somebody.
Oh.
And I'm in Louisiana or somewhere that doesn't have a capital punishment. I'm in
Okay.
Arizona, whatever, right? And I go and I kidnap this person and I bring him to Nevada
Yeah.
and I murder him, right?
Yes.
If both of those states don't have capital punishment,
Yeah.
I could still get capital punishment. Do you know why?
Because it's a federal crime.
Because I crossed
Yeah.
a state line. Now it's federal. Now I can be
Yeah.
sent to death. Is that wild? Just
Yeah.
from crossing a state line?
The death
That makes
penalty
it
is its
federal.
own conversation.
Dude, that's- yeah,
Because
wow.
we know that just so many people get locked up for crimes they haven't done.
So, and you've heard the
That's scary.
You've heard the statistics that capital punishment costs less or costs more than to keep somebody in jail for the rest of their life.
Right. No, I didn't know that statistic.
Yeah, is
that's
that
awful.
wild?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough subject.
It's a tough subject.
Yeah, that's a really tough one to get into.
I say, dude, what's worse than death? I think rotting in prison the rest of your life.
Yeah, but if there has to be like very specific guidelines in place, like if somebody's admitting to committing the like most heinous of brutal, violent, murderous acts, then maybe in a situation like that where they're saying, yes, I did, like I could see that, but we've seen just so many people that have been given the death penalty, put on death row, that were later proven innocent.
Yeah. Oh, true.
That's
So true.
scary.
We got more heists coming. Chase,
Oh, yeah.
don't worry.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
worry.
We're
Cat.
getting into
All
one right now.
Ready for another heist?
Yep.
Let's go. We
So,
got a
yeah.
good one. This is a good one.
So the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum sits in Boston, Massachusetts.
All right.
Huge private art collection, open to the public. So in 1990, a robbery was committed there. And what makes this one interesting, again, as I was saying, in today's money, back then it was over 200 million worth of art.
Well,
which
what
is worth
year? I'm
about
sorry.
1990.
Okay.
So over $600 million in today's money worth of art was stolen. Irreplaceable pieces, obviously. And none of those pieces have ever been seen again to this day. So you've got, 40 years later, not a piece of that art has ever been seen again. So, but let's get into the story of it. So this is I have a picture of the place. So pull up the Gardner Museum picture here. This was a mansion that was turned into a museum. So look at how beautiful
Holy
this place
shit.
is. Yeah. And in every
Oh, that
room
became a
it's-
museum.
Yeah, that she turned into a museum, and it's just wall-to-wall
Beautiful.
art everywhere. Yeah,
This is the
even
courtyard, I
decor.
presume?
Yeah, this is the middle
Beautiful.
courtyard. It's gorgeous. But so it's an old, over 100-year-old mansion.
And this is in Boston?
Yep.
Wow.
That they turned into a museum. So it's just beautiful.
Around it is all like shitty neighborhood. It's
Right.
all,
No,
like-
yeah, kind of. It is just
Yeah.
on like a city block in
Yeah.
Boston. So it's interesting. But yeah, that's a beautiful little oasis in the center there. Yeah, surrounded in a city, which is cool. In a
Anybody
big
more
metro
money to
area.
Be able to stay. The chat's funny, dude.
Yeah.
Go on.
Anything. Yeah. Read it off if there is. So the robbery. Now, again, they made off with, in today's money, over 600 million in art. These weren't the most brilliant criminals, though, and that's what I found interesting about it. In today's, it's still known as the largest private theft of all time. It ranks number one.
Okay.
Right.
So not a public museum. The largest.
It was a private
collection.
Yeah.
Heist of all time.
Yeah, but this museum, they get wind of a possible heist. So they go, okay, we're going to beef up security. They get a bunch of cameras, motion sensors. And this is the 90s, right? So they have like the motion sensors are hooked to like a printer that kind of print
Love
out
it.
motion.
Love it.
Right? They hire a couple guards and they're like, okay, we're good. Well, the guards they hired were just a couple art students, just kind of moonlighting as guards overnight. So the way these guys go about it.
One was 4'11", the other was 5'6", 120 pounds, soaking wet.
Yeah, we'll get to the guards. Because I'd like to
McKenna
know.
said, so real quick in the chat, McKenna said, looks like the Picasso Museum. Okay, Mrs. Cultured. Okay, we get it. You know what? And then it was funny. So Chase Chase Mack, Cat Lover, and Given Life Roll talking. And Chase is like, would they extradite?
Yeah.
And Cat Lover is like, yeah, would they play ball? LOL. And then Given Life said, if they give Biden enough money, they'll let him stay.
That's funny. Well, that's what I was thinking in Morocco is we know, like in some areas, if you pay like the local authorities off, they'll kind of protect you in some of these situations. But I don't know if they do that in Morocco. Just certain places you can get away with stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I thought maybe he was still living it up over there. So
yeah,
anyway.
I know. That would have been a nice end of the story,
Yeah,
right?
well, he
like
got
we
what he
know who
deserved.
he is. Well, yeah, especially with that woman that he like put in a coma and shit.
Right.
But
But
yeah,
it would be interesting to.
it'd be cool to know.
flagrantly
Like we know,
show
just
it
like El Chapo's son.
Right.
Like we know who you are, we know where you are,
Yeah.
but we can't fucking do anything. And then when they did arrest him, they said, "Hey, give him back, or we're gonna kill all of you." And they had to
Right,
give
yeah,
him
yeah.
back. The police had to give back the fucking guy.
There's some crazy stuff.
But sorry,
like that.
go on.
So here's how they did it. Here's how the robbery was pulled off. So two guys dressed as police show up to the door, and they go, "We're responding to a disturbance. Open up." Now the guards are not supposed to let anybody in after hours, not even police.
Period.
It's
Period.
part of the
Yeah.
policy. But these guys, they're not really guards, and they're young. Well, the guy at the front was a younger kid, like I said, art student.
Yeah.
And it's the police.
He's like,
Boston PD.
"Oh, I've
open
seen
up
this
the door."
footage." Yes.
Yeah. So they buzz him in. As soon as the cops get in, they say, "Okay, stand up. Give us your ID." Now the panic button's under that table. So by getting him to stand up and show the
can't hit
ID,
it, yeah.
that's the end of that, right? He pulls out the ID. They go, "Oh, there's a warrant for your arrest. Turn around." Boom.
Yep.
Where's
Cuff
the other
him.
guard? They
Yeah.
knew there was only two. They knew this. Brings him down. Whoa, what's going on? Let me see your ID. You're under arrest too.
Cuff.
Once they're both cuffed, they go, "Actually, we're kidding. It's a robbery." They let
Sit
you-
down and
yeah.
stay where you are. Yeah.
So they do. They tie him up. They put him, in a room in the basement, and they go start turning all the cameras around so they can't be watched. They knew where the tapes were. They knew how to get to the tapes, pull the tapes,
So now they basically have all the time in the world till like
and
dawn.
they own the place.
Yep.
And that, to me, brought back a scene from such a great movie that I wanted to play.
best.
So go ahead, play that scene, because after they've got the guards tied up, this is basically them in this moment. Oh man,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll pull it up.
That's it. That's all
going
I got to say. No, I want to just watch the clip. Here we go. Because this is, come on.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
And I hope this is kind of what they did. Tell me this wasn't the best.
So guys,
Freaking
sorry.
movie.
Yeah, we got to skip around for copyright for DMCA issues.
Yeah.
So
but
bear
they
with us.
owned it. Yeah, they could go in, do whatever they wanted. And they weren't art thieves. So they basically treated the art like this. Let's broaden our mind.
Oh, hey, the new king in town.
Perfect.
I love how they all dance too.
Yeah.
Not
With their
just
dressed
Joker.
as cops. So great.
Oh, this is my favorite when he knocks it. Yeah.
All right, there you go. So you can stop it there. So I love when they ask, "Are you?" She's like, "What do you want?" He's like, "My face on the $1 bill," and she's like, "Are you joking? Do I look like I'm joking?" Like he always looks like he's
Yeah.
joking.
Yeah.
So good. But that was them. They had the run of the place.
They had the run of the
No
place.
one was going to show up.
And
There's
it's
no
so weird that
censors.
they were wearing Joker outfits.
That would be
and
crazy.
Painting. No, that'd be insane.
But the sick part is they weren't art thieves, and it was obvious in the way they went about it. Is they stole things that were that worth some money, but they left a ton of things that were worth even more. The way they stole priceless Rembrandts was by using a dull blade to cut them out of the frames. Which, if you were an actual art thief, you would not do, right? You
No.
would keep it intact.
Smart,
They
so
were
you don't have
cutting
to.
it out.
Smart, so you don't have to. You could just roll it up, and now it's very mobile.
Right,
Mobile.
but you're
But
destroying this priceless
if
art.
you're an art,
Yeah.
collector, you would never cut a Rembrandt or whatever. You'd never just slice it out.
No. And
Canvas.
there were...
Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Think of even the ends of those pieces. It's you don't. It's like the Statue of David.
And
It's
we're going
like,
to
oh,
see a
let's just-
picture of it in a second. Yeah. So they have the run of the place. They start cutting these paintings out. You could tell that maybe they had some direction. They weren't the masterminds behind this of what to maybe go after. They kind of went after names that everybody knows, like Rembrandt, Degas. So some of the big names went missing, but there was, again, if you knew what you were looking for, they left behind $1 billion worth of art.
Basically, you're trying to say they left behind
The fucking
Luckily, but they did take quite a bit. Again, in today's money, 600
They still
million
got
worth.
some.
It only took them 90 minutes, and they took all the evidence with them. So the police really had no place to start looking. This is what the museum looks like even today. They left the frames on the walls, and I have a picture of that. So if you go visit the Gardner Museum now, you'll see the actual frames where they cut these pieces of art right out of the walls. They're just empty.
Oh, shit.
Right?
Look at that.
Just to kind of say, like, this is, and these are Rembrandts, right? They were the only seascape that Rembrandt ever painted was amongst
Just so you
some of
guys
the
could
stolen
see that
goods.
a little bit better.
And if we can do, are we able to do a link where we pull up this website?
Yeah, I already got it.
Let's
pulled up.
do that, man, because these are the actual pieces that went missing. And I want to just show a few of these. Look at this. Oh,
So this is the beginning.
Yeah, so
these are some of
again-
the pieces.
yep.
Did you want to talk through them or?
No, I just wanted to show some of them. There, so on the, let's see, where's the seascape? Oh, right there in the middle, the boat next to the self-portrait there.
To the
in
left,
in
or
the
to
very
right?
middle.
Oh, the very middle.
Yeah. So that was Rembrandt's only seascape. It's basically priceless. That was one of them. None of these pieces have ever been seen again. Amongst them, again,
They've
there were
never been
Vermeers,
seen again.
Degas, never been seen again.
So these are in some guy's art collection
That's
in
the
his
speculation.
basement.
Is I was going to ask you, where do you think they are? This stuff can get so hot that you can't sell it, or the
there's
people
that
they sold it to kept them in these private collections where no one had ever dropped a dime on them.
Yeah.
None of this was insured. They had no insurance. They couldn't afford it.
Oh,
because
'cause it'd
art
be
theft was so
so
high in the
pricey.
90s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it cost too much to insure it, so
So they just didn't.
they just couldn't.
There wasn't like
Yeah.
like plans that would give them a fraction of it. There
No,
was-
they had no insurance, and for that reason,
I'm sure there was plans that would be like, yes, we'll insure it up to this much, even though it costs
art theft
yay
was so
much.
high they couldn't afford it.
But I'm sure there was.
No, it
lesser
was
options.
offered. They just
Yeah.
couldn't afford it. Yeah,
Well,
it was too
I'm
expensive.
saying, weren't there lesser options that they perhaps could have taken? That they
I
chose
don't
not to?
know, but they don't.
Who
They
knows?
didn't.
Who knows?
Right? That's
Wild.
the point. Is that they had no
So
insurance.
it's not insured.
Yeah.
So they're just fucked. They're
So
just
they
fucking-
they could only
they're
put up $1
screwed.
million in a reward for at the time was $200 million in art.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say yeah. Oh, $1 million, dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
So dropping the dime.
why
is
would
not
I? Yeah,
really
give up
worth it
when
if you're in on it.
it's when it's worth. I have $200 million for
Yeah.
this shit. Oh, you're $1 million. That's sweet of you, but here's these. Yeah.
And so, as I started with, because none of these have ever been seen again, and we can only speculate. They could be in a freaking storage unit because nobody was able to get rid of them.
Hey, they could
or
be
they've been
in
too
some grandma's house
Yeah.
because somebody didn't know what it was, or it got passed along, or
Yeah.
it got moved, or you know what? Better yet, here's what happened to it. Ready? This is actually what I believe happened.
Okay.
They put it in a storage unit, and then the guy who had the key died, and so they sold it. It was like Storage Wars. Some guy bought it, didn't realize.
But
what
then
he
it would
had.
be seen again. So
And
someone would
then,
try to sell.
No, once
a
he
piece.
realized it, he went in, brought it in. They're like, "So you understand this is a Rembrandt?" He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh shit. Okay, let me hold on to this."
But then what's the
And
point?
then he black market sold it to a bunch of people.
Okay, maybe. But again,
A
we
lot of
don't
leaps,
know.
lot of
Yeah,
leaps.
there- we have to. All we can do is guess. The crime was so quick, and it was in the middle of the night, and the guys were wearing disguises, dressed as police officers with fake mustaches. I have a sketch of what the suspects looked like.
Yes. This is the testimony from the two security
Yeah,
guards.
the only two guys that saw anybody that night.
So McKenna said, read that aloud, Jared.
That this is a good heist. That he can't.
Yeah.
She can't believe it. And wonder
Where
where
is
the
the
art
art?
is.
Great
Still, not
question.
one piece has made it to the open market or has been called in. No tips, nothing. Still, this is all they got. That's kind of what they said they looked like. So here's the two sketches from the two guards, the top and the bottom. Yeah. There you go.
So
That's all you got. No fingerprints.
look different.
No video.
So, by the way, what you're looking at is the top is they're supposed to be the same person from two different eyewitnesses.
Two different witnesses, exactly.
So the top left is eyewitness A, top right is eyewitness B,
Right.
same, of the same person, and the same with the bottom. Eyewitness
Yeah.
A is bottom left, eyewitness B is bottom right. So they couldn't even get that right.
No, even the mustaches. Look,
There's a
one guy
mustache
said
and
maybe-
Sans mustache
Yeah, so
on both.
Someone had a mustache.
So witness B, the guy who did all the sketches on the right, who told the guy to sketch on the
Yeah.
right, he is blind to mustaches.
He's like, I don't think I saw a mustache.
Or the guy number A only sees people with mustaches, so he adds a mustache to
these
everybody.
guys knew exactly what they were doing as far as where the video was and where the motion detector printer was and how to get buzzed in through the door.
Oh, there's
where
some inside
You're
jobbery.
thinking there's
for
got to be
sure.
someone. And
Something's up.
the cops looked into the security guards and they literally said that they were too stupid to be a part of this plan.
Yeah.
That they were just morons.
Too dumb,
They
yeah.
actually said
You
that.
heard about what happened in Denver regarding this case?
No.
Something was rotten.
Okay. Yeah. No, there's for sure some inside
Or is that
job here.
Denmark, or
'cause
it's both?
It's both.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think
Denmark
they say
and
both.
Denver. That's it.
But yeah, crazy.
You
So
get my
that's all
joke.
the evidence they got. Years go by. The FBI is trying to figure this out. There's a couple people that have spoken up, but again, no one has ever done time for
No.
this, and the art's never been recovered.
Wow.
One guy said his cellmate admitted to doing the job.
That happens often, though.
Right,
How-
and so and you can't trust
Grain
these
of
guys,
salt,
can you?
grain of salt.
But someone they were looking into was connected to this cellmate, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the cellmate that gave him up said he worked for Carmelo Marlino, and the Marlino family had links
Okay,
to,
that is
yeah,
an Italian mafia.
to some crime. Yep.
La
And
Cosa Nostra.
later, one of the wives came forward and said that her husband had been involved or had possession of this art at some time. And I have a video of that report, and this was like 30 years
I
after
love
the
that.
crime
Of
took
the
place.
wife. Okay.
Yeah.
Chase Mack just said, probably the owner of the art museum. Not a bad fucking idea. The owner would know
Okay,
how
with no
foolish.
insurance.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't need insurance. Insurance would be a benefit, but
No,
that would
that's the
that
only
would
way to make it worth it. 'cause
no.
you already have possession
absolutely,
of the
I disagree.
paintings.
So,
Without insurance, you
to
can't
Chase's
get double
point,
payment.
check it out. Double payment. You can't
Yeah.
get double.
So you can sell them
listen,
yourself. Open
he-
market
He,
if you own
listen,
them.
he looks different, or he doesn't look bad because they're like, oh, he didn't have an insurance, so all eyes off him.
But
Meanwhile,
why,
he's
why
black
steal
market
it?
selling it.
No, you can sell it open market. You don't need a black market seller.
Yeah, but it's better.
No, it's not. It's less. You make less on the black market. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, if it was insured,
If they're stolen and then 2 years later,
Then it
the
makes
price
sense.
goes up. Come on, now
No,
you know that. Absolutely.
No.
You know
No,
that.
the price goes down because you can't exhibit it, you can't put it anywhere, and if you're caught with it, you do time. So the value gets killed. So no, there's no reason to sell it if you're the owner.
So Chase and
unless
I are
it's
correct.
insured.
It's the owner of the museum.
Yeah, you guys figured that one out. So I like this. I got a news clip here where they thought they had a big break in the case because this woman
what about
said
the
my
chick?
husband was involved.
Okay, yeah.
So that's the video we're gonna watch. But again, so little has come out.
This
on
is
this
the video
case.
I have next.
These guys pulled a good heist. Yeah, this is it.
Tonight, a man suspected of playing a role in
Is
the
there a TS?
No.
Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist is speaking out for the first time.
This
Back
gives
in
us a little background
1990,
of,
two men
of what I
posing as
just
police
told us.
officers got into the museum in Boston and stole
Oh,
more than
that's a Rembrandt right there. I know that
$500
one.
worth of art. Years later, a woman from Maine claimed that her husband gave Robert Gentile 2 of those missing pieces.
Oh,
the
shit.
FBI converged on his Manchester, Connecticut home. They found no signs of the
Look at
art.
this guy.
The FBI thinks that
pissed.
Gentile had it at one point.
Oh, is this the former mafia guy?
Yeah, he's got ties
Current
to
mafia
they thought it made sense. That it wasn't just some crazy story.
Connecticut
he
man
had
suspected of
connections
having a
where
role.
it could make sense that he would have it. So if you skip ahead to his
Knows
interview,
where it is.
Husband.
yeah, I like what he has to
87
say.
years old.
Mrs. Guarenti, after he died,
Yes, this is good. You can
went to the FBI and said she witnessed her husband handing you a painting at a hotel in Maine. What is your response to that?
Out and out lie. She was crazy. She's bipolar. Bipolar. She's nuts. I know she was nuts.
yeah. So
Just totally taking away any credibility she may have.
That's his actual response is, no, she's just crazy. Sir, you know you're being accused of one of the biggest heist, an art theft of all time.
Who's accusing me of this?
Remember your buddy's wife said that she saw you had those paintings.
My buddy's wife? Who's my buddy?
Yeah, Gentile.
Oh, no. Me and Gentile, I don't even know a Gentile.
Yeah, that's where he goes with it.
Yeah.
Well, she says that she saw you in possession of these artworks. What do you have to say about that?
Sharon.
Yeah, his wife.
Oh, I know Gentile. I know
Yeah.
Sharon. Yeah, no, poor thing. I mean, she has that bloodborne illness. You know of this, right?
Oh, no, we didn't.
No, she's diseased up the yin yang.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, she's a mess. Poor
Okay.
thing. And dementia runs in the family, so it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not crazy that she would say something so
that's
insane.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I have nothing to do with any of this. Just
You sure? Because she seemed pretty credible, and I mean, your background, it seemed like that you could have had something to do with this.
Credible. Well, let's talk here. Did she tell you that she has a false hip?
Oh no, never.
Okay,
came
now
up.
see,
Huh.
Everything starts unraveling a little more.
I don't understand. Why would the false hip?
Because she's a liar.
Oh, she's lying about having a hip.
Yeah.
Okay.
She has dementia that runs in her family. She has a bloodborne illness.
She's
yeah.
bipolar, he
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Dementia. Okay, so we can't trust a word
Lou
she said.
Gehrig's disease.
There you go. Yeah.
She has Lou Gehrig's
So
disease.
yeah, perfect. And he even sounds like a mobster. The way he
Oh,
answers.
now I remember.
Yeah.
She did call me once after she fell down a flight of 55 stairs.
Yeah.
And she busted her head wide open. So
head
I don't know if
injury.
she's the most trustworthy woman of all time.
Yeah.
But hey, if she said what she said, she's wrong.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
But, granted, if she wants to, make this claim, it's false.
Yeah, understood. Can't get any more
Get
incredible
the
than
fuck
that.
out of my house.
Why did I agree to this
Yeah.
interview? If this is what I was going to do. Yeah. So pretty much that's all we got. The FBI, they've tried.
That's basically what he said, though.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that bitch, yeah, she's insane.
They tried to make a deal with
Oh.
somebody they thought was credible, but the guy was trying to get time cut off of his sentence.
Oh, sure.
And then they didn't end up agreeing to the deal, so the guy ended up not giving up the names, and then that all fell apart. But at some point, a reporter said that he was able to get his eyes on one of the missing Rembrandts, and that he knew that this guy was involved, and if the police would have made a deal with him, they could have gotten the art back. But the guys wanted a piece of the reward money. They wanted time off of the sentence, and it never ended up working out. And both those guys that were going to drop the dime did prison time for other things.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, this guy's funny.
No. What did McKenna say?
I can't see. It's blocked. Oh, him with the art in the backdrop. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
It's black.
Dude, but look at that. Yeah, I love that they left the empty holes out.
Yeah.
Just to be like,
Sure.
look, we got screwed.
We got fucked over.
Look at somebody here. So we were thinking about heists, talking about heists today, and I was thinking about heist movies. And dude, one of the greatest heist movies of all time, and it does go to another story I'm going to tell later on in the show. There's some connections here, and it's so funny that we brought up Bruce Willis. But I have a scene that I wanted to play from my favorite heist movie.
As far as his acting career.
One of my favorite heist movies of all time. If you know the movie, and if you don't, you got to go see it. But Hudson Hawk.
Oh,
Remember
I
this
was gonna
movie?
say let's see if Given Life will guess.
Oh, that'd be hilarious if he get. Yeah, I should have given him time
Yeah.
because he pulls these out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So play this next clip, man. This to me is one of the best heist scenes ever.
Young Jamie.
The general gist is these professional thieves. The way that they time their heists is by using music. So if they've got 5 minutes where the cameras are going to be down, then they sing a song separately that's 5 minutes long. That's kind of the gist of it, so that they can get their timing in sync. Very brilliant. To whoever thought it was something by Leonardo da Vinci. There was this statue that Da Vinci had crafted, and some people came to him and basically forced him to pull off this heist.
That didn't really work.
They forced him to pull off this heist. But yeah, I love it. So they sync up using the music all the time. So they looped the camera.
Life is what you wish. You're a terrible disgrace. He's got no manners when he eats his.
And R.I.P.
Great
to the
movie,
career
man.
of Bruce the Willis.
Great actors, great movie, great moment. Hope you guys have seen that one. If not,
check it out.
oh yeah. See, given Life had
Hudson
seen
Hawk.
it, he might have been able to guess it.
Movie is the shit.
Yeah. So that's just a little taste. Later on, I'm going to get into another story that might have some links to what we were just watching there. But yeah, so that's my heist. The Gardner Museum heist. $600 million worth of art that is still never been seen. They never found out who did it. These guys successfully pulled off a heist by cutting Rembrandts with dull knives out of the frame.
So I say, speaking of cutting Rembrandts out of a canvas out of a frame with dull knives.
Yeah.
I say we jump to another segment.
Okay. Dull knife?
The dull knife segment that you
is
all know and love.
That's one of the good segments.
Yeah.
Here, let me set you up here.
You could be swinging on a.
So yeah, so this is so Hudson Hawk. Just real quick, because I love that movie so much. The next place they need him to rob is the Vatican. So just imagine how great this is. And the whole idea is that Leonardo da Vinci, and just da Vinci himself, we could do a whole episode on, with all of the
Straight up,
conspiracies and the ties to the Priory of Sion and the Da Vinci Code. And there's so much cool stuff there. But he was brilliant. I mean, painting wasn't his thing. He actually made most of his money playing music, which is interesting.
Yes, so ladies and gentlemen, speaking of whatever Jared was just fucking talking
Leonardo
about.
da Vinci's career, man.
Yeah, Leo
It's
da
a
Vinci's
Renaissance
career.
man, the Renaissance
We
man.
have the, where is it?
Yeah, this was an interesting way to jump into it.
Hey, you know what? We do. It's the news, bitches! Man on the ground, are you there, sir? Are you there, sir?
The man on the ground is here.
There he is.
Yes,
Thank you,
he's
sir.
here and he's clear.
Thank you, sir.
I said clear. He's here and he's clear.
CL.
So, sir, we're talking heist. We're talking Hudson Hawk. We're talking MMA fighters stealing. We're talking the great.
Oh, yeah.
Hudson Hawk.
Yes.
Oh, my.
You could be swinging on a Bruce Willis.
Oh, that scene.
2 minutes, 27 seconds.
You know how good it feels not to have to hold up a 2 minutes, 27 seconds. It's not to have to hold up the phone to the mic. So, sir,
Oh,
we're
they do
talking
side
all the
by
crazy.
side for that one. That's what that one was.
Well, just, being the kind of guy I am, trying to align with the theme here, I thought that I might just talk a little bit about the biggest crimes in history, the biggest heists that ever happened.
Oh, yeah. That's directly in line.
Yes,
top
please.
10, but I'm going to switch around a little bit because the bottom of the top 10 was only 1.2 million.
Oh,
okay.
This is the heist that was credited with arming police with military-style equipment.
Oh.
I think you mentioned this earlier before. This was in Hollywood, California. It was on February 28th, 1997.
Oh, yeah.
And so these two robbers, who had already done 2 bank heists, decided a third, and as it turns out, final attempt.
So they successfully got away with 2. Is it in the beginning of the movie SWAT? Don't they show this scene as like the impetus for
there's a movie called like 48 Minutes or whatever.
No, but
based
the
off
beginning of SWAT, I think it shows this point in history.
SWAT the original series, SWAT the movie, or SWAT the new show?
With Colin Farrell.
Because they already had a SWAT team. I don't know if they had SWAT teams in '97, did they?
I don't know, but I think this
so.
was why they became the best trained unit in the world out of LA.
Special
was
weapons.
because of
Of course,
this
this is
battle.
California. And what happened to these guys, they blew up, they planned this heist, they blew open the security doors, and when they did, they blew up most of the money.
Oh, fuck.
Well, that sucks.
they were
That's
pissed.
obnoxious.
So there was still about 300K left. When they grabbed it, it exploded in die packs.
No! Oh, that's
so
rough.
they were severely pissed. So they tried to leave, and there were police outside. There were helicopters everywhere. And the police back then, all they had was 9mm pistols. Was all they had.
I get
And
you.
none of these guys were armed to the teeth and had full body armor.
Full body armor,
The
yeah.
Yep.
The pistols couldn't pierce the body armor, but guess what? After about 1,700 rounds, the thieves were killed.
Jeez.
1,700.
So they were
rounds.
like just taking it. Yeah, like, dude.
And
You know, if you get hit by a 9mm 1,000 times, it's pretty sure it's going
Oh,
to
Yeah, start doing damage. Yeah.
get through there.
Yeah.
Right, so that was 1.2 million. Now, I think you might have mentioned there was an agricultural bank in China. I don't know if you mentioned that one. No, I don't think you did, no. So we're jumping up now from 1.2 million. This is a $9.5 million heist.
Yes, Deb, we are live.
We are live.
We are live, Deb. But go on, sir.
I'm live. Are you live?
I'm live. Living the dream, baby!
Live on the news.
Okay, so and this $9.5 million heist took place in China. So it was, and this is bizarre. So these two bank vault managers were inspired by their manager. This dude, the manager, stole $33,000 out of the safe, and he bought lottery tickets.
Oh,
and he hit a huge prize with
No,
it.
he
Put
did
back
not.
the 33 grand and never got caught.
Wow.
What?
So
That's
these
pretty
dudes
crazy.
said, "Okay, that's a great idea. Let's do it." So they went and they
Like that's gonna happen.
Oh, yeah,
They robbed-
lightning's going to strike twice.
Back
Stupid.
in, this is March in 2007. They stole $5 million.
Oh no.
And they gambled it almost entirely on lottery tickets. Didn't win anything.
Of course. That's absurd.
So
they
dumb.
stepped up their game. They got another $3.5 million, gambled it again, and they netted 16 grand.
Oh, great.
Lottery tickets.
Two things.
Casinos saw
One,
them coming.
Mr. Beast did a video where they bought like $10,000 in lottery tickets, and they won like $6,000 back. So they
Yeah.
didn't win.
No,
you know,
the odds of winning that. I mean,
yeah.
are silly.
Another
But
thing.
imagine freaking $9 million in lottery tickets, and they won 16 grand.
That's
ridiculous.
rough.
So anyway,
Insane.
so finally the theft got reported to the bank managers who noticed the missing money, and the guys were jailed for 2 years. But of course, this was China, so they were given the death sentence.
Oh, that's
shit.
awful. The first guy, he must have been pissed. He must have been like, dude,
Yeah.
you know,
This 33 grand. He hit a big win. Who knows how
he
much
did
more.
it. He did it right, and he got put to death for
Okay.
that. Jeez.
Okay, moving up the scale here, up to $11 million, the Bank of Ireland heist.
Oh, nice.
This is the largest heist in Irish history. So these guys employed a tactic, and I think there was like a Bruce Willis movie that was like this. What these guys would do, they employed a tactic called tiger kidnapping. They went out and they kidnapped the families of the bank employees.
Oh, yeah. That's what Lee Murray did, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they contacted my cell phone. They showed pictures of them in prison and held them at gunpoint and persuaded them to go ahead and do the robbery.
Yeah.
So the employees show up at the bank. They load 4 laundry bags full of cash and turn it over to the gang members. An hour later, though, one of the mothers and daughters escaped from and notified the authorities.
Crazy.
The investigation led to some arrests, but guess what? Out of that 11 million, only 2 million was ever recovered.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's very similar to the Lee Murray case. It sounds like they might have learned a little
Yeah,
something
right.
from that heist. If it was that well known, the biggest Irish robbery in history.
Yeah, probably was. Probably did.
Wow.
Okay, moving up the scale. I'm not doing all top 10, but I'm just ones that were really
Sure.
interesting.
No, yeah,
There
good
is
call.
the Dunbar armored robbery.
Yeah, I've heard of this.
So
Yeah.
this again, Los Angeles, $29 million.
Yeah.
So it was an inside job,
Den of Thieves.
and the mastermind got 5 of his childhood friends, and they realized there's so much money being put in there on Friday nights that they leave the vault open.
Oh.
So the guys show up on Friday, and within a half hour, they pack millions of large bills. Clean getaway. But the authorities later on realized it was an inside job. Went on for 2 years until one of the idiots went and bought a property with cash that still had the bank wraps on
No.
it.
Oh, my God.
Stop.
Yes, he did.
Stupidity there.
God.
That's like leaving your license plate on the heist van.
Yeah, exactly.
Said
Fucking
that,
A.
that's right.
Oh, my God.
So
By the way,
eventually they recovered about $6 million, but most of that $29 million, man, $23 million of it, still nothing. The mastermind got 24 years. Everybody else,
They all bought lottery
24
tickets.
mil.
real quick, I got a
23 million,
story.
they bought lottery tickets, that's right.
Yeah, I got a story I'm going to get to where the person got caught in the craziest, dumbest way ever.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. But, Les, I love it.
2 more
So-
quick stories.
Please.
I'll go fast.
Yeah.
No, take your
Next
time.
one, $509 million, $500 million. This was in the Mt. Gox cryptocurrency hack.
Oh, yeah.
500.
Have you heard about this?
That's a lot of money.
But these guys, they had a questionable cryptocurrency exchange anyway, had all kinds of problems. They were getting ready to go bankrupt anyway. But the heist lost approximately 7% of the whole world's bitcoins.
Jeez.
Holy
on computer
shit.
systems and hackers. But in the months prior to the deposits, months prior to the robbery, they were customers were complaining about deposits not showing up, accounts not clearing, contracts being breached. So that was a mess. The theft was eventually proven to be incremental. So over time, about 150 million of the coins were recovered, getting old digital wallets and, the lost bitcoins. Eventually the mastermind got arrested. But of the 509 million, that's it. 350 million never showed up again.
Oh,
shit.
That's crazy. That's so much money. That is insane.
Okay. And this may not surprise you once you hear it, but what do you think the biggest robbery of all time was?
Like how much money? Or Bitcoin?
800 million.
More than the 500 million Bitcoin. This one was the Central Bank of Iraq.
Oh shit!
And guess who
I'm
did it?
saying
Saddam Hussein.
Yeah, I was gonna say the president.
He got 1.4 billion.
Well,
billion.
That's crazy. Come on.
Well, only the
Largest
president of a
cash grab in
country
history.
can pull that off.
He was scared of the U.S. forces coming, so he wrote a handwritten note and sent Qusay, remember Qusay, the animal, to withdraw the entire vault of the Bank of Iraq. 3 loads of cash were shuttled back to the palace, and because he was the leader, nobody could really say if it was a crime or not, right?
Yeah, that's
So
like if
this
the
is-
queen empties like the reserve.
Yeah, so this is the country's leader emptying the treasury. Like, what would you call it? Their
exactly.
the country's
Hey, yo, go to Fort Knox, bring me the gold.
straight up, crazy.
So the international response was pretty, harsh, but
I'm sure.
Only about half the cash was ever recovered.
Really? That is wild.
Yeah. They never had enough of a paper trail to find it. So of the 1.4 billion, only about 700 million got
And
recovered.
the craziest part, think about this man who just stole $1 billion.
Yeah.
Cut to him in a hole.
Wait, did you say
hiding.
$1 billion?
That's true.
Him hiding in a hole, scared Americans are gonna come and grab him, which they do.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Talk
That's
about fall from
unbelievable.
grace. Crazy, dude.
Crazy.
Love it.
Karmic, yeah.
So, based on all these news segments,
Yeah.
we love every detail that you give us.
Yes.
But there's one thing we really look forward to. Do we get it today?
What would that be?
That'd be the
The
jokes,
jokes,
my brother.
man. Yeah.
Oh,
That
you
would
want
be
some
the
jokes?
jokes.
about
Heist
heist?
jokes.
Okay, I have to have a few jokes, just in case.
Do you have jokes?
first one.
Perfect.
So you'll like this. So
Let's
this is
go.
kind of cute. So during an armed bank robbery, one teller reaches over and whispers to the next teller, "Here's that $100 I owe you."
That's great.
yeah.
Okay, here's another one. So
Come on.
answer this question: if you see a robbery in an Apple store, are you an eyewitness?
That's
stupid.
great. That's perfect. That's a good one.
Tina, what up?
Okay, so and my last and final joke.
Yeah.
An armed masked man bursts into a bank yelling, "Everybody put your hands up, this is a robbery." Patrons and staff are terrified. While he's loading the sacks with cash, his mask slips off. He quickly pulls it back up, but he sees 2 guys who saw his face. Points the gun at the first guy, and he says, "Did you see my face?" The idiot says, "Yes." Bang, shoots him. Then he points to the second guy. He said, "Did you see my face?" Second guy points to a woman sitting on the reception area. He says, "No, but my mother-in-law did."
Oh, that's the
Oh,
best.
that's fucking great.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's so
Okay.
bad. Yeah, I love it.
Signing off from beautiful downtown Burbank.
Oh, thank
Hey,
you,
guys.
sir. Thank you, sir. Man on
Great
the
show,
ground.
always.
Thank you. Great news.
Beautiful.
Today.
Thank you so much,
those
sir.
are
We
good
appreciate your
stories.
time.
Yeah. Audience
All right,
is
talk
loving
to you
it.
soon. See you
Great
next week.
news
Bye now.
segment. Great stories. So entertaining hearing about these heists.
Beautiful.
Lot of
And
love.
that sound, that was some good quality sound, boy. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, we didn't have any
I'll
weird.
tell you what.
Darth Nihilus.
Yeah. So real quick,
Yeah.
another quick segment I just want to hop into real quick.
Yeah.
Is one you guys may not have heard from for a minute.
Yeah, we're gonna do more heists in just a bit, but yeah, let's Let's do something a little different, a little palate cleanser in
Let's
between.
switch it up a bit. What do you say?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I got it.
Has it been that long?
It has been that long.
It's
but I
been a
got it.
while, actually. Yeah, I'm surprised, especially us, because this is something that we talk about a lot, just like on a personal level.
There she be.
Nice.
And there she be.
Look at that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the
That's it.
Marvel
We got some new
Minute.
people in the chat too. So Deb, thanks
Beautiful.
for joining.
Felicity,
Michael
Deb.
Domino,
Look at
Felicity, yeah, Tina, welcome to the chat. Thanks
Yeah.
for jumping in.
So, Jared, real quick, I'm not trying to get heavy or deep into this.
No,
Just real quick before we get into this heist, because I got a really good one. I know you got
excited.
a really
Yeah,
good
yeah,
one.
yeah,
there.
yeah.
But real quick, I just want to say, here's my problem with Marvel lately, and I figured that I've pinpointed what the issue is.
Okay, so this is why you want to do it. Let me
Yes.
hear. All right, let's hear it.
So just very quickly, I just want to say, here's the issue: is with the first movies, we got all this build up, we got these great characters,
Right.
and we knew they were going to interact,
Yeah.
right? And then so
we hoped because it would all depended on the success of the films.
I mean,
and we've never seen anyone be able to pull that off.
We saw
before.
RDJ come in for Incredible Hulk, which was the second movie ever.
Right.
So they
In-
were
in
planting the
an
seeds
after credits,
immediately.
But I mean,
Yeah.
like, we didn't know if the movies would make enough money to get there.
Sure.
When I heard Thor was coming out, I'm like, no one's gonna watch that. Who cares about Thor?
Sure.
And it became amazing.
Point being,
Yeah.
that so we got it. Then we got the Avengers, and
Yeah,
everything,
of
just
course,
like
yeah.
we all
So
hoped.
we get the big team
So
ups.
here's the problem these days: is they keep introducing characters, without teaming them up. We
Yes.
see Moon Knight, the show,
Yeah.
and it's 7 episodes, whatever.
was kind of in a
and we see
vacuum.
Secret Invasion, and
Yeah.
we see Miss Marvel, and
Yeah.
we see.
Miss Marvel is gonna cross over a film.
Listen,
but we
you
didn't
don't
get
gotta
a
defend
crossover yet.
anything. I'm just saying, hear it out. Hear me out. Then we see Moon Knight, and we see She-Hulk, and this. Why can't we see She-Hulk team up with Rhodes, War Machine, and in Ant-Man and the Wasp?
I think they're getting there.
Why can't we? Yeah, but how many? That's the issue. That's what I'm saying. Is the problem is that we have all these great characters,
Well,
and they
we
keep
didn't see
introducing
the
more and more and
Avengers
more and
team
more
up
and more
until
characters.
they all had their introductory films.
But how many introductories? The Eternals, that's
Yeah.
fucking 12 people alone.
Right.
How many introductions until we get a fucking team up?
I think this is the first one is going to be the Miss Marvel, the Marvels will be a team up. So we'll get the old guard and the new guard. So we have like She-Hulk has the Hulk training her. So that's kind of a team up, right?
No.
Hawkeye had Kate Bishop
These
has
aren't team
Hawkeye.
ups, no.
But they're kind of the old guard training the new guard to take over. So we get these intro stories, which I get what you're saying, but they're giving us these introductory stories, and now we're going to start getting team up films. So the Marvels will be
Changing
the
of the
first.
guard is fine.
That's kind of what they're doing, I
The
think.
issue is they need to get together and start. I want to
The
see
main storyline
fucking
has to be
Oscar
attended to.
Isaac Moon Knight.
Yeah.
With Kamala Khan.
Well, we don't know what the main storyline is really yet, right? We know that Loki has told us the most, but none of the other series or
So
movies.
you think they're doing everything perfectly?
No. I'm saying
Okay.
this is what they're trying to do. Is they're trying to redo it. So they did all those intro stories and then the big team up films.
Well, yes.
They're doing the intro stories where the old guard is passing to the new guard. Now we're going to get the team up stories,
Anyway.
starting with the Marvel. So I think that's what they're trying to do, and that's why they are putting like the Hulk with She-Hulk and Kate Bishop with Hawkeye and Captain Marvel with Miss Marvel. So we'll get there, but trust me, I want the main storyline to be attended to. We're not getting any of that.
We're not getting it. We're not.
I want to know. Loki, the season 2 of Loki is supposed to be that.
And we used to get 3 Marvel properties a year.
Oh yeah,
at least around that.
Oh, because you needed it. They were building to something and they couldn't do it over
And now
25 years.
And now we're getting different shows that have no relation to each other all
Yeah.
over the map, and they're all like different ones, multiverse ones. She-Hulk, and she talks to the camera, and then Kevin.
We did get a
Feige's
Daredevil
robot.
team up in that one. That's kind
And
of
that was the worst thing. He was ketchup and mustard. Anyway, so that's the end of the fucking Marvel Minute. So we're getting back into the heist. So guys, I got a really good heist that I want you to hear about.
And like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm asking you guys in the chat. Thank you for joining in the chat today. So make sure to like and subscribe before we get into this next heist. Real quick, push those buttons. Helps get our video out there to more people.
Everybody
Helps us do
on
this
right
more.
now, hit that like button.
Easy peasy.
I'm looking at you. I'm clickety clack. I'm looking at you.
Clickety clack.
Yep. Everybody hit that like button.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
That's awesome.
Doing some more heists. Don't worry.
Doing some more heists. Okay, so my next video.
Yeah.
is my next segment is actually a really, really fun one, and I'm glad I found it. I had a different one planned, and then I'm like, once I found this, I'm like, you know what? Let's.
Oh, dude, yeah.
let's
I
pivot.
went through that too. I was like, there's so many crazy heists.
Do we got anything going on in the chat, my guy?
No, just some new people joining in. A lot of people saying how much they love the news.
Dope.
Yeah, and the jokes, everybody loves those. So
They're the
people
best.
are, yeah.
Okay, great. So, in 2000, oh wait, nope. I'm supposed to play a video first.
Okay. Opening with a
first.
video. I like it.
Opening with the vid.
Give us some context via vid. Oh, I love this moment.
Let's go,
It's
huh?
so fun.
This video was made possible. Earn $100 million in for free at dashlane.com/RLL.
Thank you, buddy.
So here's a question for you. What's the quickest way that you think you could earn $100 million in? If you're an average American employee earning roughly $45,000 a year, it'll take you 2,244 years before you can make your $100 million.
Only 2,000
Or
years?
you could be Jeff Bezos and earn that much money about every 11 hours that you exist.
Oh
But if you don't have a huge company behind you to help
That's
you make that much
insane.
money, maybe you could earn that
Is that
much
the
in just one
craziest
night
thing?
the same way that Leonardo Notarbartolo and his gang did. You rob one of the most securely fortified places in the world like you're in a movie and make off with over $100 million in diamonds. Although to
my
be
goodness.
fair, you may end up in jail for a long time if you get caught afterwards like he did. So just
Diamond
listen and
Heist, I
remember
love
that
it.
stealing is bad.
Yep.
The location that the crime took place in was right here.
Bad,
a
but
small
entertaining
3-block-sized
to
area
talk
in
about.
downtown Antwerp in Belgium known as the Antwerp Diamond District.
Yep.
Back in 2003, when the crime took place, $3 billion of diamond sales were made in just this tiny area, and over 80% of all the world's rough diamonds
my
will
gosh.
pass through here. It's one of the densest concentrations of wealth anywhere in the world,
And we saw
that
Blood
wealth is
Diamond,
very
the
securely
way they
guarded.
run that
The district has
industry.
its own dedicated police force provided by the Belgian government. There are 63 video cameras providing 24-hour video surveillance, and the entire perimeter
Oh,
can
this
be
sounds
shut off with
impossible.
steel cylinders that'll block any vehicles from getting in
Yeah.
or from leaving.
Good luck.
I can't
Good
imagine
luck.
how
At the
they
center
pull
of
this
all
off.
of this already impressive security.
Yeah. Right? How could they pull this off?
Yeah, I'm wondering
Listen,
how
but
is
it gets
Diamond
crazier.
merchants work. Merchants rent out stores and offices inside of the building and also rent out safe deposit boxes inside of the building's vault. And it's inside of this vault where hundreds of
funny.
millions of
Ballin',
dollars
hey.
worth of valuables are stashed. But getting inside is obviously impossible, right? Because it has 10 layers of security that any crazy thief would have to somehow get through.
Yeah, what?
First of all, the vault is located 2 stories underground beneath the building. There's an external security camera outside of the door that's recording 24 hours a day. A combination dial on the door with over 100 million different possible combinations.
Yeah.
A key lock with a very specific key that you need to insert. A 3-ton solid steel door rated to withstand over 12 hours of continuous drilling, but that wouldn't matter anyway because it also
Wait,
has
so
a
hold on a
seismic
second.
sensor
So
inside of
let's
it that would
say-
trigger an alarm.
Let's say you get past the camera that never stops recording,
Stop.
and you get the key that you can't get, and open the vault door that you can't open. Are you just supposed to walk out with $300 million in diamonds on you without being stopped?
Yeah.
Nice. I had to.
Yeah,
come
we
on,
had to.
come on,
We
come
had
on.
to, come on.
And that hits the Ocean's quota for every episode of TPTNS.
Yeah, it sure does. We have to talk about Ocean's 11 in every
We can't
single
help it.
episode.
It's
We
just
can't
what
help
it is.
I
But
know.
come on, that was the perfect moment
That
for
was the
that.
perfect.
Okay, go ahead.
So past the camera. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, seriously though, because listen,
Solid
there's
steel
more.
door rated to withstand over 12 hours of continuous drilling, but
Yeah.
that wouldn't matter anyway because it also has a seismic sensor inside of it that would trigger
Right.
an alarm the moment that it detected a drill
Impossible.
It's literally
vibration.
fucking.
If the
It
door
is. It's
is
the
somehow
Bellagio
opened,
vault.
there are 2 metal plates on the door and the wall that create a magnetic field. But if the
Yeah.
door gets opened, that magnetic field will
It's
break,
broken.
which triggers another alarm. Then there's a steel grate behind that door that requires another key to open. Once you get past all of this, you're inside, but now there's even more problems.
What?
There's an internal security camera that's also recording
Yeah.
24 hours a day, a light sensor that'll trigger an alarm if it detects any light, like people turning on the switches or using flashlights, and finally, a heat and motion camera that'll trigger another alarm if it detects motion and a raise in the vault's temperature from some somebody's body heat being inside of it.
Mission
But none of this
Impossible.
deterred Nodar Bartolo from allegedly planning what has been called the greatest heist of the 21st century. And this is how something impossible to break into was, well, broken into with supplies that you could basically get at Walmart.
No.
Stop it. So, do you remember even any of those fail safes?
Yeah.
That has
the cameras and the keys and the gates and the 24/7 security, 63 cameras on the outside of the building, a massive complex that to even
Insane.
get to the vault.
Just nonstop. Just like you said, like the ocean scene.
Nonstop.
Okay, so in 2000, which is 3 years prior to this,
Yeah.
to the heist, rather, Notar Bartolo rented an office within the Diamond Center.
Okay.
And there he made friends. He chummed it up. Hey, Sally, what's up? Oh, Gary, how's the old wife?
Yeah.
Bill, how are the kids? Jimmy still is playing softball? Good. Oh, pitcher. Oh, that's fantastic. Chumming it up. Chum,
Okay.
chum, right?
Yeah.
And so for 3 years, he was a legit businessman and talking, chumming it. Hey, Gary, how you doing?
Yeah.
Chumming it up with everybody. You know, he was fun. He was a good
Okay.
time, right?
Yeah.
And people knew him. So nothing. He didn't do anything suspicious for 3 fucking years. Just
Yeah.
totally playing it
That's
cool.
a long
That's
time
the long
to-
con, baby.
yeah,
Exactly right.
pull off something.
So he was also because he rented a space inside of this diamond district
Yeah.
and pretended he was an Italian jeweler.
Yeah.
They gave him this card, which gives him access to the building. Right?
Okay.
So he has this card, and it gives him 24-hour access. So no matter when, where, why, who, but whatever,
Yep.
access.
Okay.
So that's good.
So he can get in the front door.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So there's no photography allowed. But what he did is he took a pen, right?
Yeah.
Pen. Doesn't matter. People know what a pen looks like.
Yeah.
And at the top, he built this little camera and put it
Okay.
at the top of his pen and put that in his pocket, just sticking out.
All right,
Just
all
so it
right.
could take
Got some heist
photographs,
stuff
right?
going on.
Exactly, right? Very James Bond, right? So it was taking thousands of, little photographs of everything,
Yeah.
right? So and this is where it gets very specific type of movie, and tell me when you catch on.
Okay.
So this is taking hundreds of thousands of photos, right? And then he recruited a team of 4 men, 5 including himself, 5 total.
Yeah.
Right? One was named Basha. No, I'm kidding.
No, that's funny.
So using the photographs, they created an exact replica
Oh, wow.
of the vault in a warehouse separate from the location, right?
Well, yeah, okay.
So created an exact
What year
replica.
did Ocean's 11 come out? Because
like
the original
2003.
didn't have this. This is from the new one.
2003, I want to say.
Okay, so this was before that.
When did Ocean's 11 come out? Don't do the
Ocean's
original.
11 was released on December 7th, 2001.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I was off by 2 years.
Wow.
So yeah, he recreated. So 5 men, including himself, built a perfect replica.
Yeah.
Using all the photos that he took, right? And then so they would use this replica to practice and practice and practice and practice.
That is funny.
I know, right? And then
The timing doesn't even sync up either because they both would have been writing this plan at the same time. Like the movie would have to be written before. You know what I mean? This is
as far as the movie, yeah,
So
right.
it's not like they stole the idea from each other. They
No.
just both had the
Yeah.
same idea.
Well, who knows how long they were shopping around that Ocean's 11 script?
Yeah, exactly. Could have been around for
Could
years.
have been years. So in February of 2003, they decided to actually break into the vault this time for real.
Okay.
And they chose to do it on a Saturday because most of the workers were Jewish. And so they wouldn't be there on a
Right,
Saturday,
yeah.
right? They're not driving their cars
Right,
to
right,
go
right.
to the.
Oh,
diamond.
that's
very
a lot
clever.
less security. Okay.
So, dude, they do a lot of clever stuff. So, there was not even security there because they were so certain that their vault was impregnable that they're like, oh, we don't need guards. We're good. Our
Yeah.
vault's set. So, day before the heist,
Agreed.
Notar sprayed the heat sensor with women's hairspray.
Okay.
To coat it in a layer, right?
Yeah.
And so he coated
So
it in
it
this
couldn't pick up-
exactly
Nice.
to render it like you
Oh
used
my,
to.
come on.
So, dude, they do a lot of smart shit. Check this out. So the next day,
You have to be sure that's going to work too. So they must have had their own sensors and practiced with it to make sure.
They had
that's a
an
big
exact
gamble.
replica, dude.
They had to have known.
Dude, there's a few gambles, and that's how you know they knew they did the research.
Oh, dude, that's
so
wild.
Yeah, so the hairspray thing I think was genius.
Yeah.
The next day they rented a car and drove across the street at midnight across the street, right? And hopefully they used a fake plate. Whatever.
Yeah, jeez Louise.
So Bartoli remained in the car. Granted, if anybody saw his face or whatever, you know the jig is up regardless. But he was the getaway driver. Basically, he remained in the car as the getaway driver. So the other four broke in to a rundown office next door.
Yeah.
And next door was this garden, right? And this garden bordered the Diamond Center.
Yeah.
Like a week prior, like a few days prior, they planted a ladder.
Oh my goodness.
In the garden.
Yeah.
They took the ladder, posted it up against the Diamond Center,
yeah.
climbed up to a balcony. Check this out. So when they got to the balcony, there's a infrared sensor. So they took a polyester shield that covered all of them.
Yeah.
And they walked it towards the sensor.
Oh my god!
And then just placed it in front of the sensor, rendering it useless.
Oh my god!
Yeah. So it's a lot of little homemade things
Yeah.
like this. That's what makes it so enticing and clever and awesome. So
this is like a legit crew,
dude. This is like Ocean's 11
Heist
shit,
crew,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So then they broke into a window which didn't have an alarm on it, which they knew about. They knew it didn't have an alarm.
Yeah.
Broke into a window and made their way to the basement where the vault was. So they placed a black bag over the security camera.
Yeah.
So the camera, it just looks like it's blacked out, whatever, right? They also brought another homemade tool with them. A piece of aluminum with double-sided tape on it.
Okay.
So what this did was, you remember that magnetic force field they talked about?
Yeah.
So they put that over the magnetic force field, this piece of aluminum, unscrewed it, and then moved the magnetic force field without breaking it, moved these plates into another position. So the force field's never broken.
Yeah.
They just moved it so now they can go in and out, no problem.
Oh my gosh.
Very fucking clever.
That's crazy.
And so here's what else they did. So once they unscrewed and moved the plates, they taped the plates to the walls and never breaking the magnetic field, not to repeat myself. Then using a camera hidden outside the door that they placed weeks ago, No More knew the code because he placed the camera and he saw them typing in the code.
So he knew how to get in.
So he knew the code. So that there was no breaking into the vault. All they had to do was type in the fucking code.
That is
and then
wild.
they had that fence, right?
Yeah.
They just lock-picked the fence.
Oh, yeah.
Right in, right? But there's a few more little things like
Yeah.
it said in the video. So after they picked the lock for the fence, they put a styrofoam box over the heat sensor, the one that had the hairspray,
Yeah.
just to make sure that the hairspray wouldn't,
Yeah.
give out middle of the heist.
Yeah.
So they put a little styrofoam thing over the heat sensor, over the sensor, and so then they took black tape and put that over the light sensor.
Yeah.
And another bag over the interior security camera. So
I was gonna
now
say, how
it's
did
all
they get
blacked
past
out.
the cameras? So they just
Bags,
blacked them
black
out.
bags, so it
Okay.
looks like it's just blacked out. Yeah. So they even rewrapped the wire, redid the wiring in the vault so that. Hold on, I lost my spot. So they did rewired in so that the alarms wouldn't send a signal out.
Yeah.
So that if the alarm were to go off, which it didn't, it would just send a signal
it would
in-house. It would
loop.
just
Yeah,
loop. Yeah.
that's crazy.
Dude, so much
So
crazy
this is
shit.
a legit heist.
It's the most legit heist.
Yeah.
And so the most impressive thing is that they did this all in complete darkness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because there's no lights
Yeah.
on. They couldn't turn lights on. So they,
funny.
in complete darkness, because they had hours and hours and hours of learning the vault.
Yeah.
Because they rebuilt it.
Mhm.
Right? So then the fun begins. They stole over $1 million worth of diamonds, gold, jewelry, other trinkets. Nope, it's $10 million. I don't know
Yeah, I was
why.
going to say, it's probably way more than that.
It's $100 million
Yeah, that sounds
worth
right.
of diamonds, gold, jewelry, and trinkets. Over $100 million. Over $100 million.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, and then
Well, they earned it in
fucking
the
ate it right,
heist
dude.
game. That's pretty legit, man.
over $100 million. So they had duffel bags filled. They ran out 5:30 a.m. Right?
Yeah.
Not a single gunshot fired.
Yeah.
Right. Nothing like of the sort. No alarms going off. Nothing.
Yeah.
Just the perfect fucking heist. So after all this planning, the next step was to burn their gloves. and anything else that related to the heist.
Yeah.
And they had like this place they were going to go and burn everything, right?
Yeah.
And according to Bartolo, the main guy, one of the men got nervous and started throwing things out of the getaway car, including a half-eaten salami sandwich.
Why?
Because he was freaking out. He got nervous, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And he's like, he's freaking out. So he started throwing shit out. It's like,
I like the guard
you
dog
fool.
idea, Deb. That's funny. Yeah. I guess you could bring a steak with you. How long?
Yeah, right. So check this out. What's my timestamp? 7:57.
Dude, so they planned this for years.
Beautiful, right? So how do we even know about their names?
Yeah, I was gonna say they eventually must have gotten caught.
Check it out.
Arrested and sentenced to 10 years in salami and side of the road to do it, but his friend allegedly, according to him, got nervous and began throwing stuff carelessly out of the window, including a half-eaten salami sandwich. This sandwich was later discovered, and it provided the DNA evidence that linked Nodar Bartolo to the crime. So he was arrested and sentenced to 10 years in prison for his role in the heist. He has never given up the names of any of his fellow robbers, even to this day, and most of the $100 million that was stolen is still missing out there somewhere. That is, unless you believe Nodar Bartolo,
Check it out.
claims they only managed to steal $20 million, and the reported $100 million is all just an elaborate insurance fraud scheme on the part of the Diamond Center. It's not really clear, but one thing that is...
So is he lying because he has this giant fucking...
We'll never know until the others get
nest
caught.
egg?
Yeah.
Or is he or is he telling the truth and the people are trying to defraud the insurance company?
That's interesting.
Very fucking interesting.
Is don't leave behind a half-eaten salami sandwich near the crime scene after you've just stolen millions of dollars.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. How could he throw out a fucking sandwich with their DNA all over it?
But he didn't talk, and look at the other guys actually
No,
got
he's not the
away
guy
with
that threw
it.
out the sandwich.
No, I know, but he still
Another
didn't
thing
talk.
that's clear is that
So
criminals
now-
will go to outrageous lengths to steal some money.
Well, yeah. So, dude, fucking Ocean's 11-esque.
That is
right?
legit, yeah. So talking heists, that is probably, of all of the heists that I looked into before this episode, that's the most amazing heist I've ever heard of.
Is that...
It is
not
exactly
insane?
Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
And I think we should pay tribute to that film during this episode because that makes a lot of sense.
I agree.
We talked about
Pay
heist movies,
tribute
right?
when? No,
now,
after we
right
talk.
now, I think.
I think
it's
so.
a good time because that is Ocean's 11,
It
and
is.
the timing. They didn't steal the ideas from the movie. We know that because of the timing. They had been planning this for years before the movie even came out. Unless somehow, like they got a hold of the script, but that's just so absurd to even think.
So
they were that clever and well put together as a crew.
So I say this week's best movie ever.
Yeah.
Has to go to.
Oh yeah, the best heist movie ever. Marvel's Endgame, Time Heist. No, Ocean's 11.
Ocean's
Yes,
11, baby.
The best heist movie of all time. It's just a perfect film.
Perfect start to finish.
Yeah. Every cast member, every word put to paper, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the
It's
way they
perfect.
plan the heist is perfect.
The twist at the end.
It's believable. The whole thing is so
testing
good.
it. So let's start from jump with this. Let's just burn through it real quick. So it starts off Danny Ocean. Oh, actually, I have a video I want to play. Hold on, let me set this up.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to skip this video, but I want the people to see this.
Dude. Yeah.
This is the
From the very beginning.
So, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, he wants to get out as soon as he finds out that his ex-wife, at the day he gets out, basically, is dating this hotel magnate
Terry
in
Benedict.
Vegas. Yeah.
Yes. Thankfully, they have a friend who also is an
Has a
enemy
gripe
of Terry
with the same
Benedict.
guy,
Yes.
yeah. Oh,
because,
dude.
Yeah.
It's just perfect.
He muscled me out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It bought out my casino.
And I like how he knows
for
that
some
they're
gaudy
manipulating it.
monstrosity. Yeah.
He's like, don't think I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you mess with Terry,
Yeah.
you better. What does he say? He's like, because he won't kill you.
Yeah.
'Cause he won't just
he'll
kill
kill
you.
you. Then he'll go to work
Yeah,
on
he'll
you.
kill you. Then
Yeah.
he'll go to work on you. Yeah.
So good.
He
so
better not know your names, not think you're dead, nothing.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Because he'll kill you. Then
Yeah,
he'll go to work
and then
on
he'll
you.
go to work on
So brilliant. So the cool thing is it's the everything we love in the movies where they gather all the characters.
You put the crew together.
This guy, he's a grease man because he's flexible, can get anywhere, can do. That's our grease man. And then we have the guy on the inside, Bernie Mac.
All the little
RIP.
things they come. The biggest Ella Fitzgerald ever. Like how they have like little names for all the different pieces of the plan.
So, do you want to explain what the Ella Fitzgerald means?
That was the looped video, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yes,
yeah.
because Ella Fitzgerald did a commercial for Memorex.
Right. That's right.
And it was like
the tapes,
saying it's as good as.
Is it? It's not real. It's Memorex or something like that.
Yeah. And then.
So that was the looped tape, and I love that the Bellagio not being on the floor is how Terry actually figures it out. Pretending to be SWAT is genius.
Genius, which we just did an impression of in what is it, Crash Talk?
Yeah,
when we said, "Is there does it say Bellagio?"
Yeah, does it say
Sir, I don't understand.
Yeah, he's the fucking worst.
Flyers, sir, for hackers.
Yeah,
but from the cast, we got Brad Pitt, we got George Clooney, we got Matt Damon, we got Don Cheadle, we got the greatest, the old guy. What's his name? Old man Smithers.
I'm so bad with actors' names, but yeah, dude, the cast is perfect.
Julia Roberts, Andy
Julia Roberts
Garcia,
kills it.
fucking.
He plays a great like villain in this, and in his own way as a villain. Like I love when she says, at the restaurant, you better know what you're doing, and he's like, "What are you doing?" Like that's his like how he walks.
His
out.
entrance, yeah.
Oh no, the towels you can keep as he kisses her hand. Like it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh man, every moment. We
have a camera on every inch of this property. Yeah. So I better return those towels.
Yeah.
No, the towels you can keep.
That's pretty good.
So good. But the heist they set up is genius. It's brilliant.
Perfect.
3 casinos. All the money feeds into one.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, let's do it on a fight night where they need to have the most amount of money on hand. Let's do it on a fight night. And just the script is genius.
Yeah.
They get
and the real heist is him trying to get his wife back.
That's it.
But he needs this big heist to get, to make it happen and to make it fair for everybody to want to do it. So it's pretty genius.
And what they think is going on is that they're in there stealing all the money.
Yeah.
Nope, that was filmed. That's bullshit.
Yep.
The SWAT is who stole the money when they dressed up as SWAT.
Guys, someone's here.
Yeah, someone's here. Yeah. When we get to see it. Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, so good. Guys, there's someone here. Get him, take him out.
Terry
I got
puts
him.
it all together, and he's just like, you see him just thinking about it, and he knows Danny's involved.
We got it installed.
Did you have a hand on? Did you have a hand in this? Did I have my hand in what?
Yeah.
You're free to go.
He knows. No, the best is when he's like, all right, if I tell you, will you give up testing?
Right,
yes.
yeah.
He's like, all right, I know a guy.
Yeah. Any job goes down.
God. Yeah, on the West Coast,
so
told me he
good.
knows about it. He's like, all right, get him the fuck out of here.
So, yeah.
I'm sure you're against
Best
probation.
heist movie.
Best movie.
Yeah.
But
almost a perfect movie.
And a movie we quote literally every episode because
Yeah.
it's one of our favorite movies, and it's the most quotable fucking movie ever.
It really is.
It really,
it's
really
brilliant.
is. It's so good.
Italian Job. Yeah, good heist movie, Jess.
Very true.
Yeah.
Favorite line from I know mine from Ocean's 11. Favorite line. There's so many good ones. I know. Mine.
Shoot. What's
I know mine.
No, I couldn't pick.
I'll tell you
Yeah,
mine.
go ahead.
You suicidal? Only in the mornings.
Yeah, that's a great line too.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's so fucking good.
Yeah, there's so
My
many
other
of those.
favorite is I saw you.
I saw you
when I
before
was
you
placing
got
my
up.
bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw you at the paddock. Yeah, when I was placing
Yeah.
my bet. I saw you before you even got up this morning. Yeah, so good.
So many of those.
So many.
Yeah.
Between
You
the
gotta
two,
be when he's telling him, you gotta be. He's gotta like you, but forget you ever, existed. You
Yeah.
gotta be funny, but don't make him laugh.
Yeah.
All that stuff is
Yeah.
good. And the most important thing. And he
Yeah.
just walks out
hey,
of the room.
There, yeah, come on. Yeah, yeah, that's the best. And he's but he's like, don't look down. That means you don't know the truth. Don't look
Yeah.
up. That means you're lying. Yeah. Or you don't know. Then don't look down. That means you don't know the truth. Anyway, it's a fucking movie. We
It's
could gush
so-
over it
so
for fucking
brilliant.
10
Yeah.
hours. But instead, I
gotta
want to
rate
hear
it.
about one of the craziest heists.
Rate. We got to rate the movie. Greatest movie ever. We got to give it a rating.
Right. You're so right.
So,
I go first.
Yes.
So I'm very tough on movies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. There's no such thing
Like
as
extremely tough on movies.
yeah.
Yeah.
I need judge movies harshly because movies are what I love, and I think a great movie deserves to be told it's a great movie, and a shitty movie deserves to be told it's a shitty movie. I don't give a lot of leeway.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give, surprisingly,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give Ocean's 11.
Yep.
I think so. Between 0 and 10.
Yeah.
Impregnable vault doors.
Impregnable vault doors.
I'm
Yep.
gonna give it 9 out of 10 impregnable vault doors.
I agree, 100%. 9 out of 10.
You also 9 out of
'Cause
10 impregnable vault doors.
If 10 exists out there somewhere, this movie would be it. But
Goodfellas is a 10.
let's say we don't give out a 10. 9 impregnable vault doors is perfect. Yeah, 9 out of 10 for sure. It's perfect.
So you're
No,
9 out of 10 impregnable vault
I
doors
wouldn't
also.
change anything
Okay.
about this movie.
No, it's flawless.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I think Ocean's 12 is 9.5. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody.
I think you
So
might be right.
please,
Yeah.
Jared, what do we got next for the final crazy heist?
The final heist. So there is a painting that is probably the most famous painting in the world, but it wasn't always that way.
When you say the most famous painting in the world, I know what comes to mind.
Yep, go ahead.
The Mona Lisa?
Yep, that's the Mona Lisa. And did you know that the Mona Lisa was actually stolen at some point?
I heard a theory about this.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, go on.
So before the Mona Lisa was stolen, it actually wasn't very famous at all. And it was housed at the Louvre in Paris. The Louvre wasn't the attraction it was today. So we're talking 1910. So this is turn of the century. Nobody really showed up in droves to take pictures of these paintings. The Mona Lisa didn't get, I think they say it's some 8 million pictures a year are taken of the Mona Lisa right now, which is absurd. It's like their biggest attraction. And anybody who's been alive for a few years on this earth, you know the Mona Lisa, you've seen it, you know what it is. If someone asks you, do you know what the Mona Lisa, you can picture it almost exactly. It's just that famous and well known. But before it was stolen, it really wasn't. It wasn't regarded as this amazing work of art, and the Louvre was so boring that the security guards were known to fall asleep during their shifts regularly. The only people that really showed up there, you got a few tourists, mostly artists showing up there. So not a big attraction, and security obviously pretty poor. In 1910, this painting disappears, is stolen, and it actually takes a full day before anybody even realizes the painting is gone. That's how dead this place was, and how unappealing or unattractive the Mona Lisa as an art piece was, that it took a day for anyone to even notice. And it wasn't even security. It was an artist came in to paint the room it was in and was like, wait,
isn't that?
Yeah, why isn't the painting up there? Maybe it's being photographed, or maybe it's being worked
So the Mona
on.
Lisa wasn't always this amazing, like, perfect piece of art that it has the, what's it called?
That would attract millions of people
What's
to
it
come
called?
see
Or
it.
it's the like not concentric circles, but it's like the, you know what I'm talking about, where it's perfect.
The golden mean?
Golden something where it goes like from
the
her
golden
nose.
mean, yeah.
The golden what?
The golden mean, the golden ratio.
Golden ratio. That's what are you
same
saying?
thing. Golden mean. It's the same thing. It's just another word for
Oh,
ratio.
MEAN.
Yeah.
Mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no, nobody really cared about the Mona Lisa. Now today it's priceless. I think they value it somewhere at 600 million, but that's just a number because it's actually priceless. It's a priceless piece of art. But for a while there, it was missing. And the robbery, it wasn't an Ocean's 11 style robbery. All they had as far as evidence was the picture frame left in a stairwell with one fingerprint on it. This is 1910, right? And then a plumber who actually saw a gentleman trying to get out of a door that he couldn't, and the plumber actually helps him open the door. He took the doorknob off this
Who
guy.
couldn't get out?
Some strange man was in the stairway, and he was taking
the
the
plumber
door.
saw the strange man.
He saw a
Okay,
guy
okay.
who took the door handle off the door to get out because it was locked. And he just told the guy, he's like, "Oh, I can't get out. There's something wrong with this door." So the plumber helps him take the door handle
Opens
off
the
and
door.
helps him leave. So the police have nothing to go on. They don't hold press conferences or really tell any of the details of the crime, but it goes worldwide news that a Da Vinci painting had been stolen. Now the Mona Lisa becomes the most famous painting in the world because it was taken. After that, it's studied and scrutinized. Every little piece of it, has been scrutinized now by high technology, and people talk about the different. And we'll get into some of that, the landscape and the smile and it is a brilliant painting, and the genius that went into it is something that's almost beyond imagining. And we'll show. I'm going to show you a clip about that. But again, until it was stolen, nobody really cared about it that much. The police, with nothing to go on, bring in Pablo Picasso. They actually arrest Picasso for this. They think that he might have done it.
What?
Yeah. The media thinks that it was a rich American who commissioned the theft of it so that he could have it in his private collection, a Da Vinci. But what happens when it has to be an inside job, the way it was done. They know whoever did it had to have known the place well and known how to remove the painting. Because something interesting about those frames that they were in, the way that they were put up, unless you knew what you were doing, they were very difficult to remove. And whoever did this had to do it fast enough where nobody noticed.
Yeah.
And again, this wasn't a very busy place, but you would still only have maybe a few minutes. And it took the police several minutes with multiple guys. This thing weighed 200 pounds to get this thing off the wall. So if you knew what you were doing, the workers could take it right off in a second. So then they said, okay, it's got to be someone on the inside. They did fingerprinting on everybody, and this was early on in forensic science. Fingerprinting was brand new, but they did. This was one of the only police forces in the world to start using fingerprinting, which was lucky for them. So they did have fingerprints on file. They fingerprint everybody that works in the Louvre. Doesn't match, but the painting never shows up, and nobody's trying to sell it. So a couple years go by, and they start looking into contractors. And they find out that there was a company that was contracted to create and cut glass for some of these works of art, right?
Okay.
Around that same time, somebody decides in Italy to try and sell the Mona Lisa. And the guy doesn't believe that it's really the Mona Lisa. But because it is in the wind, he decides to meet with them. And the guy has this like suitcase, and he starts taking all this stuff out. And they're like thinking, okay, this guy's full of it. He doesn't have it. And it's a suitcase. And then he takes off this false bottom and pulls out the rolled up Mona Lisa. And there it is. And they look at it. And these guys, they know what they're looking for. They see, this is it. This is the Da Vinci's Mona Lisa. But they're like, we need further testing on it.
Yeah.
Will you let us bring it back to our museum? And this is in Italy. And do some further tests to make sure this is really it. And he goes, yeah, that's no big deal. As soon as they get it back to the museum, they call the police, tell them who it is, where he's staying, what hotel, and they arrest him, right?
Oh, shit. Okay.
The guy's name was Vincenzo Peruggi, and he was a contractor that worked in the Louvre, an Italian guy, small guy too, only about 5'3". And it's interesting that he claims to have done this theft alone because, again, it was a 200-pound frame, and he was a tiny little guy.
5'3", you ain't picking that shit up.
You're taking it off the wall and then carrying it into the stairwell and then getting the painting out and then rolling it up.
They show a picture of him, and he's just fucking yoked.
Yeah, exactly. He could be. Could have just been a really strong dude. His motive, there was a couple people say it was because he was fired when he was working for the Louvre, that possibly that was part of the motive. But his personal motive that he says is that it was an Italian painting that was taken by Napoleon, and it deserved to be back in Italy. The problem is the painting actually was painted in France. So he stole the wrong painting. If he was trying to return an Italian work of art, Da Vinci worked on the Mona Lisa.
But Da Vinci's
more
Italian,
than 4
even
years.
though it was painted in France.
Towards the end of his life, he died in France. Actually, Da Vinci. He spent his last years in France with friends with the king. And the king actually put the Mona Lisa up in his castle, and it was taken by Napoleon, who ended up putting it up in his bedroom at some point. And then when it was returned to France, it was put up in the Louvre. So that's kind of the story of how it changed hands. But it wasn't ever an Italian painting. It was a French painting. It was an Italian painter. But there were other works there that were stolen from Italy.
Curious.
And he just happened to pick the one that wasn't from Italy.
Okay, so that story's
I got a picture.
Ideas, bullshit.
Probably. Let's show this Vincenzo guy. Yeah, so that's
Vincenzo.
Is that really the
Vincenzo?
motive?
What are you doing?
Yeah, was that really his motive? Maybe. I mean, he is a little guy. And again, he claims to have done this alone. And the fingerprint on the frame did match. But here's the thing. there are several people out there who scrutinize the Mona Lisa, and they believe that it's not the real Mona Lisa, that the one that he sold is a fake.
So who is this man?
He is the thief, Vincenzo Peruggi.
Holding the Mona Lisa.
Well, this is, I'm sure they edited that in.
Okay, I was gonna say.
I doubt he did this
figured
picture,
it out.
this photo op.
Yeah.
But if he did, that's funny. But that is how he looks.
With the broken wall behind, with the wall with that behind him.
so
He literally had a photographer there.
I just thought, there's a good picture to show the whole thing in
I
one
understand.
picture. But
Chat, what's up?
That is how he looked. So it's interesting. And then once the painting was returned, it became the biggest attraction ever. And now, like I said, 8 million people come and photograph it a year. That's how impressive it is. If you actually look at the painting, it took Leonardo da Vinci over 4 years and then several more months to perfect this. There's a lot of interesting little tricks that he throws into it. And it is magnificent. And I have a video.
That's why it's so aesthetically pleasing, because it's like perfect.
So let's play this video. Timestamps 2:35. It talks about why it's so fascinating and these little tricks that Da Vinci used when he painted this painting. But how funny. This isn't an Ocean's 11 style.
To ever be sold
I'm sorry, what was the timestamp?
2:35. It's not an Ocean's 11 style heist. It wasn't a big plan that went into it. It wasn't even really that hard of a theft. And it was something that wasn't really regarded as being a priceless work of art like it is today. So it's funny. You talked about these heists that were, really well planned out. My heists were these pretty much morons, guys that really didn't know what they were doing. But the first guys, they got lucky and got away with it. This guy, he got desperate and tried to sell it. And it was the hottest painting. He tried to actually sell it to a museum because he believed it belonged in Italy. So it should go into a museum in Italy. He just tried.
Museum,
Silly. But here we go. 2:35.
Don't get me wrong, the background is magical and stunning, but do you notice how the two sides of the horizon don't line up? It's crooked. But how could Leonardo da Vinci make such a glaring mistake? He must not be the artistic genius everyone thinks he is, right?
Yeah,
Wrong. Here's the kicker. The conflicting horizons were all a part of Leonardo's plan to create a sneaky optical trick. Because when our brain receives conflicting visual information, in this case 2 different horizon lines, it jumps between the 2 images trying to figure out which one is correct. But when it comes to the background of the Mona Lisa, our brains can't figure out the right answer because, well, there are 2 right answers. So our brain oscillates back and forth between them. This constant reevaluation tricks us into thinking we're seeing the Mona Lisa from different angles, creating the illusion that she's moving.
Fucking amazing.
Really?
So it moves with
Trippy,
you.
huh?
Yeah.
Leonardo invented a technique called sfumato. In Italian, sfumato means smoky, and it's the blending of tones in a painting so that there's no distinct outline. He used this technique to depict the atmospheric haze blurring the jagged mountainous structures in the distance, and also around her eyes and lips, which is another reason she's so lifelike. If you've existed on planet Earth for more than a few years, you've probably seen this face more times than you can count. She's literally everywhere. And maybe one of those billion times you looked into her eyes, you thought, who gives a rip? Or maybe you just don't understand why she looks like she's submerged in old asparagus water. So why is this the most famous painting in the world? Maybe it's because she has no eyelashes or eyebrows.
So you can stop
this
there.
Can't be why, because she actually did used to have them, but they faded with time due to overcleaning. George Vasari.
People won't touch the painting. They won't fix it. So that's why there's no eyelashes. Yeah, there used to be. They just faded. The colors faded because it's old and they won't have anybody restore it. It's a Da Vinci. They don't want to touch it. They noticed underneath when they used like advanced technology to look behind the painting on top that there's 3 other versions of this painting underneath it that he spent a lot of time. And he painted over it several times to get it the way he wanted. When you look at her eyes, it looks like she's smiling. When you look at her mouth, it looks like she's not smiling. It's a trick that he learned how to do. And in his sketchbook, her smile is actually something that he practiced in his sketchbook to give that effect. So there's so much brilliance. There are initials in the eyes, and there's some debate about what they might mean, or if, again, this is really Da Vinci's work at all. It could have been a student that finished this. He would have his students do it.
It's like JK or something. What is it?
CE in one, and then LV in another.
LV, Las Vegas.
So there's all this debate on what it could mean. Again, Da Vinci himself.
CE.
Maybe.
And then LV Las Vegas.
Yeah. He saw you coming.
He knew I was.
People do say that there's prophecies in his paintings, which is maybe that's one of them.
Yeah.
But
he knew I was coming.
He's surrounded in mystery. This guy. I'd love to do an episode where we dive into some of the interesting things that he may or may not be a part of.
Oh, that's not a bad idea for
secret societies and things like that he might be involved in. Protecting the bloodline of Jesus with the Priory of Sion, the Da Vinci Code. There's actual documentation from the 1600s that back a lot of that up. So there's some interesting stuff here, just in the man himself. But I thought it was so interesting that the Mona Lisa, nobody cared about it. Once it got stolen, everyone cared about it, and now it is the most famous painting in the world.
Especially art. That's like sort of how it goes. Like nobody cares until like the person dies.
Yeah.
Or until like something. You know, it's like, oh cool, you're around and doing okay. Oh, you're dead, dude. Oh, I always loved his art. Like people are funny. Fickle. Fair weather friends.
But again, amazing work of art. It is cool. All the little illusions he put in there and all the little tricks that he plays. So I thought this was definitely worth talking about because I had no idea that, and again, some people don't even think it's the real work of art. If you knew that it was stolen, you could try to sell a copy because it's stolen, right? Nobody knows where it is. You might be able to get away with a good fake and try to make some money. Is that what this guy did? They linked his fingerprint back to it. He says he did it for Italy, which was a mistake. So did he do it alone? Who knows? He never said he had a partner, but did he lift a 200-pound thing off the wall himself? And
5'3", yeah.
Who knows? But again, this guy wasn't very good at it, and he got caught just by trying to sell it to the wrong person.
Chat, I want you to answer this.
Yeah.
And if you're watching after the fact, in the comments, answer. Guys, all right, we told you about 4 heists.
Yeah.
Not including the news segment. We told you about 4 heists. We told you about the MMA fighter.
Yep.
Right? We told you about him robbing that bank.
Yep.
We told you about the
Gardner
Museum heist. We told you about the what was before?
The Diamond Heist.
The Diamond Heist, right? And we told you about the Mona Lisa heist. Out of those 4, Jared, do you want to finish my thought?
No, go for it.
Okay. Out of those 4, what do you think was the craziest heist? I really want to hear your thoughts about this.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, which do you think was the craziest heist and why, or the funniest, or the whatever?
Yeah.
What do you think was the wildest heist and why? Because I'm so curious to see your guys' answers. Because I think the Mona Lisa one's quite fun.
That's the most interesting to me because
it
was something no one cared about.
But it's
a Da Vinci, and there's codes and layers to it. You could look at the secrets of the Mona Lisa online and find hours,
it's a rabbit hole. Yeah,
hours of
but
stuff.
also the Lee Murray, a UFC fighter, becoming a. But
I had no idea. Yeah.
The Diamond Heist, the
11.
actual Ocean's 11
they
coming
did an
to
actual
fruition.
Ocean's full-on
All
heist
right,
plan.
guys.
For
So
years.
tell us: is it Gardner Museum? Is it the MMA Lightning Lee Murray?
Yeah.
Is it the Mona Lisa? Or is it the Ocean's 11 style
Diamond Heist? Yeah.
Diamond Heist. You tell us what's the craziest.
Yeah.
Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, definitely in the comments.
Crazy. So what else do we got on the old Dockaroony?
I think that's it. That's my last heist of the day.
Yeah.
And I had fun with this topic. We might come back to this again. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all she wrote, baby.
Yeah.
That was a good episode. 2 hours almost on
a lot of fun.
dot. And we did have a little bit of the
Marvel Minute was in there too, which was cool.
We got the MM in there.
Yep.
So, dude, I'll tell you what, that was good times for me.
Yeah, I like talking true crime. We should do it again.
Love true crime.
Let
we
us
are
know what
doing
you
more
think.
true crime.
Yeah.
Yes, guys, we love you so much. From Jaw Resurrected.
Thank you everybody for joining live in the chat today. Again, you make the show. All of your comments, hilarious stuff today. Thank you for contributing. Let us know what you thought was the most interesting heist. If you have any ideas for other future episodes, let us know. And don't ever forget to like and subscribe. It helps get our stuff out there to more people, and we really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys rock. You are everything. We love you so much. We will see you Thursday for Crash Talk, and we will see you Tuesday for another TPTNS. You guys are everything. We appreciate you. We love you so much. Thank you so much, McKenna. Thank you, Chase Mac.
Yep.
And guys, we love you. We will see you on the flip flop. Laters.
Woo!